And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wildcat football at Gerald Prim Stadium, the first game of the season. And Ross, we are ready to rock against Frisco High, the Raccoons. A little change in our schedule, but we were supposed to play Frisco Wakeland. They had a little COVID problem, and we switched around, and now we're playing Frisco High. Tell us about the game tonight.
Yes, so just like you were saying, we were set to host Frisco Wakeland all up until about Tuesday afternoon. Then news started trickling out that the game had been canceled altogether. So when I reached out to Coach Greg Owens, head football coach and athletic director here in Sulphur Springs, he reached back out to me just as quickly Tuesday afternoon and said that not had the game on today been canceled, but instead they were now playing the Frisco High Raccoons. Wakeland coach Marty Secord reached out to Coach Owens and said that their district foe, Frisco High, needed a Friday opponent after their Friday opponent, Garland's Naaman Forest, also had to cancel due to COVID-19. So just as quickly as Sulphur Springs did not have an opponent on this Friday game day, they found a new one in Frisco High.
Right, and there are a lot of games over in the Dallas area and in our region. I think a couple dozen games this has happened. And so it's going to be a turn of events that we're probably going to experience in the next couple of games, if not all season, which is bad news. But we're playing tonight. The Wildcats are about to come out on the field. The cheerleaders and the drill team are out there. It does not look like the Frisco band is going to be joining us for tonight's game. So it's a beautiful night. Of course, it's nice and cool and comfy inside the press box here. A little warm outside, but it looks like it's going to be a good night for football. I'm taking a look at the flags over here, Ross. There's not much wind, but I do have to mention that the flags are at half-staff to honor the Marines that were killed over in Afghanistan, and so a reminder that there are more important things going on in the world other than switching football opponents. But and that's for the 11 Marines, the 1 Navy medic, and the Army soldier that were all killed with the suicide bomber in Afghanistan. All the flags have been flying at half-staff, which is, of course, a very fitting tribute for those who lost their lives in that battle. So you will wait for for one of the teams to come out, and of course we'll have the national anthem here in a little bit. But let's just get right to the roster and talk about the teams that are playing tonight. Ross?
Absolutely. So first, let's start off with the home Sulphur Springs Wildcats. They are led by, starting with the offensive line, at left tackle, number 60, Drew Hodges; at left guard, number 59, Sean Dial; the center, number 65, Jacoby Yarbrough; the right guard, number 55, Josh Sutton; and right tackle, number 58, Connor West. And then in the key positions, the wide receiver, Cable Glenn, over at the X, or the weak side receiver; starting tight end, Carson Fenton; quarterbacks, Coach Greg Owens and offensive coordinator Matt Young both said during the summer, during the Edge, that they would be again using a 2 QB system like last year, except with Caden Walls graduated, they'll be using Matthew Mitchell and Brady Driver. And running backs, it will be a running back situation by committee with J.J. Hall, Douglas Deloney, Malachi Rowland, Cameron Jefferson, and Jesse Bailey. At starting slot wide receiver is C.J. Williams, and the Z starting wide receiver, the strong side, is Weston Fields. And then for the Sulphur Springs defense, starting left tackle is Nick Cantillo, as the Wildcats are about set to come onto the field.
That's right.
Nose Brighton Reuter, number 92. Right defensive tackle, Matthew Clark, number 48. The tough outside linebacker, Jaquan Jones. Will linebacker, Griffin Crawford. Mike linebacker, Braden Morris. Sam linebacker, Devin Franklin. Corner, Brady Driver. And safeties, Riley Hammonds and Cordarian Turner.
I think we're about to get an announcement from everybody standing here. A crowd of about 350 people in the stands tonight. Ross, looks like a pretty good crowd.
Definitely. It looks like probably about 100 of those 350 have come in the last 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Raccoons are lined up on their side of the field also. Be coming out after the Wildcats possibly.
Beautiful rendition of a school song there.
Right.
But it looks like both teams are set to take the field.
We noticed there was some coin flipping going on while we were waiting to go on the air, Ross, and we don't know if we guess that they already have done the coin flip, not going to bring the captains out, but we'll have to see when the teams come out on the field. So.
Yeah, I was joking earlier that they were testing the field for coin flipping conditions.
That's right, yeah, and it all looked good, but we're not sure what the outcome was. Both coaches were out there. All the officials were out there. They flipped the coin. They talked about it. I didn't see anybody give any indication that they won or lost or picked an end of the field, but I think they possibly did. So we'll find that out here in a little bit. And looks like we're about to have the Wildcats come out on the field. And here they come. Sulphur Springs Wildcats for the start of this season, the first game against the Frisco High Raccoons. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
It sure is. And waving the Wildcats flag as they were coming onto the field was running back 2 of the running back committee, Douglas Deloney.
All right. And while we're waiting for the Frisco team to come out, let's go over that roster.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And just wrapping up real quickly, the Wildcats,
sure.
The other starting corner was Colt Silman. Punter is also QB1, Matthew Mitchell of the 2 QB system, and kicker Uriel Santa Cruz. And then, yes, moving over to the Frisco High Raccoons. So,
yep.
For their running back, we've got number 3, Dylan Harden. Number 5, Bradford Martin, and another running back. Number 7, Andrew Middleton, a wide receiver. Number 13, Jonah Choate, running back and defensive back, and you'll see a lot of that between these two teams, players switching positions, but a lot of those times there'll be a starter on one side of the ball, right, and then kind of a relief player on the other side. But then moving to number 17, Jostin Geike, a senior, number 18, Wyatt Carson, a QB, and number 23, Drew Johnson. And one thing for sure that Coach Greg Owens and his staff will have trouble against will be this Frisco High Raccoon offensive line, right, with over 10 seniors.
Oh, goodness. And something else that just happened is all of the band buses, it looks like, have just entered the parking lot on the visitor side. So I guess that's the visiting band, or that's not our band. No, they're pulling over there on the visitor side. So I guess they will be in attendance. They're getting here a little late, possibly stuck in traffic. They're getting ready for the national anthem.
Flags of our Lord and half staff. Let's pause for a moment of silence and honor and memory of our Marines who gave their lives in Afghanistan.
As like we said earlier, a moment of silence being observed for the Marines and the other service people in Afghanistan.
Dear God, thank you for this day. Lord, thank you for giving us the opportunity to gather with this amount once again. Lord, I pray for the protection of our athletes and the opposing team as well. Thank you for this beautiful place we get to call home, and thank you for the love, strength, and courage you have set on our hearts and in our lives. Lord, I ask that you shine your light through our fans and our students tonight. Lord, thank you for all that you do. We love you and we praise you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Wonderful prayer there by the chaplain.
Yes, and then now the band, Wildcat band, standing up for the national anthem. right, and there we go. It's Wildcat football time at Gerald Prim Stadium. I'm Chad Young for your color commentary, and of course, our master of the play-by-play is Ross Lebinsky tonight. And they are lining up some of the captains of the of both teams. So your call on that coin toss is they were just testing out the field earlier. So that's maybe they have a special coin. I don't know. So who have we got on the Wildcat side of the for the captains? I see 13. No, it's 4.
No, you're exactly right. That's number 13, Cable Glenn.
Right.
Number 4, Colt Silman.
Right.
Number 44, Griffin Crawford. And number 65, Jacoby Yarbrough.
And then on the other side, I've got 14. That's a quarterback probably for tonight for them. And then I've got number 8.
Yeah, you're exactly right. 14 is a quarterback, and that's Brandon Miazono. Number 8, Graham Hawks, a tight end and defensive end. Something to look out for at the advice of Coach Owens in this offense. Offensive lineman, number 70, Cole Hudson.
And we've got the call. Looks like Frisco's won the toss and deferred, and then the Wildcats will be on the left, moving left to right on our field and receiving the kickoff.
So just like Chad was saying, the Wildcats will be receiving the opening kickoff in their season opener at home, no less, here at Gerald Prim Stadium.
Right, and of course the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff will be coming soon. Here, the very first game. It's very exciting with a lot of people here. It seems like that people have turned out for this game. It's kind of been a long time coming. There was an abbreviated season last year, we'll call it, Ross, where we just didn't have enough games because of many factors, but we won't go into that. So the Wildcats are all getting lined up, and looks like we've got 10 and 8 back to receive for the Wildcats.
Yes, you're exactly right. That's number 10, Matt Mitchell, quarterback, right, 1 and punter. And then number 8, that is Malachi Rowland, one of the running backs of the running back committee.
So we'll wait for that kickoff. Wonderful night here at Gerald Prim Stadium. About 65, 70 people on the Frisco side, and a special welcome to those Frisco people that are watching this game, listening to us on YouTube, because their coach asked what our streaming address was, because he wanted to pass that out to the Frisco community so they could be watching the game as well. So we'll do our best to call those names on that side. So, and here comes the kickoff.
Exactly so. And they get the kickoff, and that goes to number 8, Malachi Rowland, who takes it over back at the 15-yard line and slips at the 15. So he got about 1 to 2 yards, and had he been able to stay on his feet in that change of direction, he probably could have made some more yardage. But as it is, he will be pulled down at the 15-yard line, and so that is where the Wildcats football will start their first drive of this fall 2021 season.
Here comes the very first Hooten's Hardware first down for the Wildcats.
And quarterback right now for the Wildcats is number 10, Matthew Mitchell.
Nobody in the backfield with him.
That's right, but we've got trips left on the far side of the field. Got a stacked formation, look for a screen. It exactly comes. And that is
number 5.
Number 5, exactly right. And that was C.J. Williams.
A good reception there, picked up about 8 yards, it looks like. So they'll be a good gain for the Wildcats.
Exactly right, and that'll make it about 2nd and 2 for the Wildcats. Not a bad start to their first drive of their first game of the fall season. So, about to get the snap. Looks like Matthew Mitchell was about to hand it off, and it looks like number 22 for Frisco High, Stephen Margot, almost came in to get a really nice interception on the second play of this drive, but got there just in time to make sure that number 13, Cable Glenn, could not come down with it. So it will be an incomplete pass and make it 3rd and 2 for the Wildcats.
Pretty good defensive play there for the Frisco High Raccoons, and Matt Mitchell's back there again. He's got somebody in the backfield with him.
3rd and 2 coming up here for the Wildcats. Matthew Mitchell gets the snap, hands it off to Malachi Rowland. He takes it up the gut, but it looks like he got tackled right about at the line of scrimmage. Would he get the yardage to gain? And he will.
Well, right at the last minute, the official stepped over the line and gave it to him. He made with his forward progress. He got popped back there, but it is a first down for the Wildcats, and so here comes another Hooten's Hardware first down for the Wildcats.
Exactly right. So with that, Malachi Rowland contributed 2 yards on that first down to gain, but it was a great, impressive run there by Malachi Rowland to get the first down. Otherwise, the Wildcats would have had a 3-and-out and punted the ball already.
Yep.
But instead, Matthew Mitchell will stay behind center and get ready for the next play. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Matthew Mitchell rolls out right, gets the pass out to number 16.
Great pass, a great catch. He fell down as he caught that and pulled it in. Picked up about 4 yards, it looks like. And so that was number 16 on the reception.
That's exactly right. Weston Fields, a very dependable receiver for Coach Owens last season.
Right, it was a name we remember from last season, absolutely.
Gives the handoff off to Malachi Rowland, but he is swallowed up in the backfield. So the 5 yards that they just gained on that pass to Weston Fields has all just been swallowed back up by that rush of negative 5 yards against Malachi Rowland.
So we're back to where we started, 3rd down, 3rd and 10. So it's crunch time for Coach Owens. See what kind of play he can call for the Wildcats.
So 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats. See if they can convert here on a long situation. And a nice situation there. And and it looked like maybe Malachi Rowland could have come down with it, but he dropped it. But there is a flag on the play.
Not sure what that flag was. It was kind of when the official threw it, there was nobody there anymore when he threw that flag. So here comes the call. We'll see if we can hear him. He's waving it off. So now it's going to be 4th down and punt time for the Wildcats. 4th and 10, backed up all the way to their 28-yard line. So they're going to be out on this one and have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, definitely not how Coach Owens envisioned his first drive on offense going on the season. But the good news is that it wasn't a 3-and-out. They were able to get that first down off of a great run by Malachi Rowland, but it was not enough.
High snap and a low kick, and that's going to roll way down the field. Good for the Wildcats. And let's see, they started at the 28, and they got all the way down to the 33. So that's going to be a good 39-yard kick for the Wildcats on that. And that's going to put the Raccoons about where the Wildcats were pushed back to, all the way down to the 28-yard line. They're going to be starting at their own 28 as well.
So with that, the Frisco High Raccoons will get their first chance on offense tonight. And during the week, we met with Coach Greg Owens, and he spoke just raves about this Raccoon offense. He said they run a wing T offense, which was something predominantly used in the 1980s. You'll see a lot of sweeps, as you see in this play right here. Number 5 starts to take it out, and he gets outside a little bit before he's pushed out of bounds, getting about 2 to 3 yards on the run.
Yeah, number 18 starting for the Raccoons on the for quarterback, and looks like he picked up 2 yards there.
Exactly right. And so they're very big on they're a very run-heavy offense. Lots of sweeps, traps. And one thing that Coach Owens said is that it's very difficult to defend against this kind of offense due to the fact that, football these days is just so open, so spread out. But this team being such a run-heavy offense, it's kind of like something out of the 1980s is what Coach Greg Owens said. And looks like, oh my goodness, is there a fumble? Looks like a fumble.
Yep. So
and the Wildcats come up with it.
The Raccoons tried another pitch out and ran around to the left-hand side and bobbled the ball. The Wildcats jumped on it, and now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Raccoon 26-yard line, which is great field position for the Wildcats.
Exactly right. And the Wildcats may not get a better break this entire game. So if they really want to put their best foot forward, they really need to capitalize on this drive after their last go-round. So with that, The Wildcats offense will be back on the field, and starting out now for quarterback is number 15, Brady Driver, the sophomore.
All right, so already making a switch at quarterback. I think just trying out the different players there. No injury, no other reason other than just trying to let both quarterbacks play tonight. So Brady Driver's in as quarterback. He takes the snap.
Passes it out to the right. That looks like it's going to J.J. Hall, number 9, and it looks like he almost fell down, but he was able to recover and get a couple more yards. Will he get any yardage? No, it looks like he'll be going backwards.
Yeah, so passed way in the background, in the backfield there, and when he ran back, he couldn't even get back up to the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 2nd down and 12, and for a loss of 2 on that play.
So that will make it a 2nd and 12 situation for the Wildcats as Driver hands it off to J.J. Hall, but he just goes straight up to tries to go through the center of the offensive line, but is immediately swallowed up by a very tough and physical Frisco Raccoons defense. So with that, they're back at the line of scrimmage, and now right back where they started, like at the last drive, at 3rd and 10.
Again, crunch time for the Wildcats. They're going to have to put something together and put this one in the end zone. It's the best chance they have so far.
Driver gets the snap, but it looks like maybe we've got an offsides or perhaps false start on the Wildcats.
The play is blown dead. Flag comes out, and the official is going to give us the false start against the Wildcats. So that's going to back us up a little bit there, Ross.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So with that loss of 5 yards on the false start penalty, that will make it from 3rd and 10 to now 3rd and 15. So one thing's for sure, this drive is going in the opposite direction for the Wildcats football team.
They still have a pretty good field position, and they've got a chance here. That I'm smelling a pass coming up on this one. We've got receivers out to the right, 2 out to the right, 2 out to the left. Who do you think it's going to be, Ross?
I think it's going to go to the left. They'll definitely, it seems like they really enjoy these bootleg type plays for Brady Driver. Oh, and it looks like they've got a design QB draw, but it would not amount for much. Looks like maybe getting a yard on the play.
The quarterback tried to run and had no place to go and ended up not picking up any yardage. And so we'll see what the Wildcats want to do here. It looks a little far to kick, but they going to try to put it through the uprights.
Yeah, 4th and 14 at the 30. I guess you could try to go for it. I mean, you would just give the ball right over. It's not great field position, but
they're calling somebody else. They don't have enough players on the field for the Wildcats. 99's running out to complete the team, and now timeout has been called by the Wildcats. They're going to talk about it, see what they can do. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
Mostly it's just where we start.
Okay.
Incompletions. Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium, and we've got the Wildcats football season opener as they take on the Frisco High School Raccoons. As I'm sure you might have heard word around town recently, or even in your neck of the woods in Frisco, the Wildcats were set to take on Frisco Wakeland, but that was since changed to Frisco High, and the Wildcats now, with 7:37 left in the first, are about to kick an extra long field goal at 48 yards.
Number 20's down there about to kick it for the Wildcats, and I've got, let's see, number 4 holding.
Number 20, Uriel Santa Cruz going for the 48-yarder.
Yeah.
Will he get it?
Oh.
Ooh.
Looks like it was a little short, went off to the right, so it is no good. Long kick, but not very good field position for the Raccoons. They'll be starting back. They'll take over on downs there with the failed attempt. And so they'll be on the 30-yard line is where they'll start to come back.
Exactly right. Taking over at the 30-yard line, so it's admittedly better than going for it on 4th and giving the momentum and confidence to the Frisco High as they hand it off to number 5, who quickly busts up between the offensive line and gets 5 yards.
Pretty good run by the Frisco offense. They're coming up to the line quick. They're trying to move, trying to keep the Wildcats back on their heels, just trying to keep their momentum going. And then of course, Ross, at exactly the time I say that, they're taking their time in the back. Here they come back up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about having these types of fast-paced offenses, as the running back takes it about a yard into the line before getting swarmed by the
I think that
defensive
was
front.
number 5 again, but yes, it was. But there was approximately 17 Wildcat jerseys on top of him. I know that's too many for the team, but there was just about every Wildcat jersey wrapped him up and took him down for just a gain of 1 yard.
So with that, it will be third and manageable for this Frisco High Raccoons at the 37-yard line as they hand it off to, again, number 5. And he is able to break through and not only get the yardage to gain for the first down, but a little bit more than that as he goes from the 37 to the 43-yard line for about a 6-yard gain.
Right, so they're going to move the sticks, and now it's 1st and 10 for the Raccoons at their own 43-yard line. And so they're just nobody's crossed midfield on their own. We got that on the fumble, so they're could be crossing midfield here on their own.
Jet sweep there, number 3 taking it for Frisco High as he breaks through, gets past the 50 all the way to the Wildcats 43-yard line. So he goes about
14 yards, looked like.
Exactly right, 14 yards.
Had to get my higher math going there.
And that was number 3, Dylan Harden, the senior, on the play.
Yes, good run by that young man. He dodged a couple of the Wildcat defenders, unfortunately for the Wildcats, and got across the 50, like we said. So they're now in Wildcat territory on the Wildcat 43-yard line.
Already 37 yards gained on this drive for the Frisco High Raccoons as number 5 yet again takes it up the middle and gets about 15 more yards. The first down was at the 43-yard line, and they got all the way to the 27, so 16 yards on the rush.
Yes, and that number 5, I said earlier that he was all wrapped up with a bunch of Wildcat jerseys, and that's what it takes to take him down. He had 2 or 3 Wildcats on him there and just kept on going. He carried him on in, and now he's deep into Wildcat territory on the 27-yard line. Yeah,
definitely. We're keeping our eyes on Bradford Martin in this run-heavy offense as number 18 takes it up. He puts it out deep in the end zone, but it is no good. He tries to send it out to Drew Johnson, who for a moment there was running all alone towards the end zone. But luckily, he overthrew it. That was number 18, Wyatt Carson.
Yes, just an overthrown ball. Really, it was a well-orchestrated play. The receiver was a couple of steps ahead of our defender, and if that ball had been placed a little bit better, we would have 6 points on the board for the Raccoons. But nonetheless, it's going to be 2nd down and 10 at the Wildcat 27-yard line.
Hands it off to, yet again, Bradford Martin, as he, yet again, is able to shed a few tackles and get about 8 yards on the rush.
He did, yes, and carrying a couple of Wildcat defenders. As we have 4:49 left on the clock in the first quarter, it's 3rd down and just a couple of yards for the Raccoons.
Score is still 0-0, but if the Wildcats want to keep it that way, they might want to get a stop on this play and this play right here.
Very important stop right here. You're right, Ross, because this is about how far we got down. Almost, they're a little bit deeper. They're in the red zone now. So let's see what they can come up with. You think number 5 is going to get it?
I have a reason to think so. And he certainly does.
Yes, and so they pitch it out to the side and get a first down as he picks up about 4 yards. That he's going to be tough to stop, and we're kind of seeing that already. So it's 1st and 10 for the Raccoons. Now on the Wildcat 13-yard line, looks like.
Yeah, Frisco High really starting to develop a momentum, really starting to find their footing and get their offense going. And, well, due in large part to number 5, Bradford Martin, the senior for the Raccoons.
He's carried most of the yardage already.
Hands it off to, yet again, Mr. Martin. As he goes about 4 or 5 yards, it would seem. Looks about 4 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and 6 after Bradford Martin gets another carry on this drive.
They're certainly marching down the field. The Wildcats defensive player comes out. I'm not sure who went in. Just changing out one of the players on the defensive side, and then now somebody, number 6, is coming in for the Raccoons. So they're changing them. They're really not rushing through here. I'm guessing there's going to be a pass play out to the right side over there.
And it looks like instead he hands it off to number 34. That's A.J. Yasili, as he looks like he gets it all the way to the 1 yard line, takes it from the 9 to the 1 for an 8-yard rush, and that will also give them a 1st and goal at the 1 yard line for the Frisco High Raccoons.
Bad news for the Wildcats. They've really got to put a stop on them here. Again, this is going to be tough. They're all the way down deep on the 1 yard line. That's the first time we've seen number 34 carry the ball for the Raccoons.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yasili, the senior, got the first carry on the night, and the Wildcats defense just was not expecting it as they got 8 yards in the 1st and goal. They hand it off in the end zone. Touchdown, Frisco High.
Well, let me see who they handed off to. I'm going to guess number 5, but
I have reason to believe you're out.
I think 18. He took it in himself. So
yeah, the quarterback, number 18, Wyatt Carson, the senior, for the first score on the night for either team to give, as it stands at this second, Frisco High a 6-0 lead over the Wildcats football team. Extra point for the Raccoons coming up here in just a moment. And that is field goal kicker number 11, Gavin Marshall, ready for the kick. On its way. And it's good. So with that, the Wildcats now trail 7-0 to the Frisco High Raccoons with 2:56 left in the first quarter and their season opener here at Gerald Prim Stadium. So we're going to take a break and hear a message from a few of our sponsors. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Wildcat play-by-play football brought to you by iFocus Vision Care, Sulphur Springs Dodge, Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op, J. Hodge Chevrolet, Wesley House Assisted Living, and Alliance Bank. Other play-by-play sponsors: City National Bank, Hooten's Hardware of Emory, Farm Country Inc., CPI Imaging, Christus Hospital in Sulphur Springs, and Saputo Foods. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium where the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. The Wildcats are back to receive again after the Raccoons scored 7-0 with 2:56 left in the first quarter. And we've got the same Wildcat receivers back to receive the kickoff there.
Yes, exactly right. That is the top 2 kick returners, Malachi Rowland and number 10, Matthew Mitchell.
And Matthew Mitchell takes the ball. He's coming around to the right side.
He's got some blockers. He's going up to the 30, and he gets knocked out of the bounds out of the 32-yard line. So not a bad return there.
No, he picked that up about the 10, maybe the 15. So he made some good yardage, and this is going to be a better start for the Wildcats as they get up to the 32-yard line, still in their own territory, but the Hooten's Hardware first down will be coming up with the Wildcats 1st and 10 on their own 32, trying to make it across midfield. Here we go.
Matthew Mitchell is back out at quarterback for the Wildcats, and one of the things Coach Owen said the key to victory against this Frisco High team was consistency on both sides of the ball, as Matthew Mitchell hands it out to Malachi Rowland, quickly gets some speed, but is just as quickly dragged down by a Frisco High Raccoon defender, and that's number 19, Jaden Johnson, with a tackle for loss. And it looks like it's about 4 yards on the play?
Yeah, it looks 3.5, 4. Yeah, no, 4 yards. They're going to mark it 4 yards. You're right. So now it's 2nd and 14 for the Wildcats. The Raccoons knew what was coming on that one, and they answered.
So Matthew Mitchell gets the signal. Snap on its way. Fakes the handoff to Rowland. Sweeps left. Gets it out to number 45. That's Carson Fenton, I believe.
All right, let me check.
Luke
get
Caton.
my handy binoculars there. 45, you're right. And a good 9-yard reception there. Back now they're going to make it 3rd and 5, back where we should be.
And that pass was to Luke Caton on the 9-yard reception. So it will be 3rd and 6 for the Wildcats. They need to convert here if they want to stick with this team. And a fake handoff. Will they get the sweep? And it looks like, oh, goodness.
Oh, he's going to make it.
Oh, wow.
He's pushing, and he's carrying some Raccoon defenders all the way up to midfield. The official just wants to step on that 50-yard line for the Wildcats, and they look like they're going to spot the ball just about 3 inches shy of the 50. So a good run and a fantastic effort to make a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats right on the 50-yard line. Another Hooten's Hardware first down.
And I believe that pass was for about 14 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you.
And Matthew Mitchell fakes the handoff. Looks like it's going over to the left side. That's to number 14. It's Reed Williams, the senior, who gets about 8 yards on the play. So the Wildcats really finding their footing now.
Yes, they're starting to move, and the field's getting a little dark, and the lights are not. The lights are on, but I think it looks like the lights are still warming up. 2nd and 2.
Let's see if they don't just hand it off to Malachi Rowland for a easy first down gain. And they do exactly that. Will he get the yardage to gain? He sure does. And just that, 2 yards for the first down, which will put them at the Frisco High 40-yard line.
Absolutely. What a great job by the Wildcats. They needed 2, they got 2, and now it's a Hooten's Hardware first down on the Raccoon 40-yard line. So moving in a little deeper into Raccoon territory. Got a couple of receivers out here to the right, Ross.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's number 14. It looks like Reed Williams, the senior.
And 16.
And 16, Weston Fields, the other senior. Oh, goodness, and he breaks free. Number 46, gone!
Pass right up the middle to number 46, and a 40-yard completion after the run, and he's into the end zone. So the Wildcats put 6 points on the board. Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go, Wildcats, and I know the people at Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op have been waiting for me to say that. So way to go, Wildcats.
And extra point about to come up with the kicker, Uriel Santa Cruz, set to get the kick. Number 4, the holder, Colt Silman. Kick is on its way. It looks like it's good, and it is.
Definitely enough length and height on that one. So a great job by the Wildcats as they put 7 points on the board to tie it up with the Frisco High Raccoons with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you in a moment. And a fantastic almost end to the first quarter there, Ross, as the Wildcats put 7 points on the board, tied up. They looked like they were having a little trouble, and then they just broke loose. And so now the Wildcats get to kick off this time, the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff, as the Wildcats come out on the field. Who's our kicker for the kickoff? Looks like
Uriel Santa Cruz.
Oh, the same young man that put it through the uprights to put an extra point on the board. And back deep for the Raccoons. Let me give you these numbers. I'm going to get out my trusty binoculars here. It looks like number 1 and number 2. That's pretty easy.
Number 1, Jordan Hamilton, the junior, and number 2, Ismail Taylor.
So interesting lineup for the kickoff for the Wildcats. Let's see what they're going to do. Onside kick. Come on. Nope.
Got something of a short kick, as looks like number 2 has got it, starts taking it back, Ismail Taylor, and he breaks a few tackles, still breaking some. Oh, goodness, and he flips field. It looks like he's got some blockers now. He starts heading up the field. He hits the 40, to the 50, to the 40, to the 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Frisco High.
Unbelievable. He picked that ball up at about the 15, ran to about the 22, 23, and then changed direction, ran backwards for a little bit, and then back around all the way to the other end of the field. I saw a block in the back against the Wildcats, but the officials didn't see it, so that stands 6 more points on the board for the Frisco High Raccoons. Just as quickly as we get it tied up, and then they run it back. And so they're waiting for the sticks to get down here, waiting to talk to the coach, and looks like they're going to go for 2.
It's a bold choice on the Frisco Raccoons' part, as number 14 gets the handoff and goes straight into the end zone with minimal effort to make it a 5th 15. Yes, to make it a 15-7 lead over the Sulphur Springs Wildcats here at Gerald Prim Stadium for the football season opener.
Only 19 seconds off the clock for those for that play, and just like that, the Wildcats are back down 15-7. We'll take a quick break and wait for this next kickoff in just a moment.
And welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium. The Wildcats football team were able to find their footing here just a moment ago as they pretty quickly went down the field. And thanks to a 40-yard touchdown pass to number 46, Carson Fenton, the Wildcats were able to score and tie it up at 7-7 to the tune of a 2.5-minute drive. But just a moment later, the Frisco High Raccoons received a kickoff, and number 2, Ismail Taylor, took it 85 yards on the kickoff to the house.
Oh, my goodness. It kind of took the wind out of my sails. I know it is doing the same for the Wildcats as they are set back there to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. Just as quickly as we kicked it off, and then they 19 seconds later off of the play clock, and then we're receiving the kick again. I think we've got our same players back here to receive the kickoff.
Appears to be so.
Going to have to ask for larger numbers on these jerseys. Kind of a rolling kick.
Number 10, Matthew Mitchell, takes it about the 10-yard line and runs into a barricade of Raccoon players at the 20-yard line. It looks like they'll calm down at about the 19 or 20, and that will end his kickoff return and give the Wildcats the ball at the 20-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. The Hootens Hardware first down. Hootens Hardware in Emory, Texas. They're more than just nuts and bolts. Go see Kirk Reams down there in Emory and see what all they have to offer. I was down there just the other day. We were both down there the other day, Ross, weren't we?
We sure were.
Right, getting a little lawn equipment, to a little weed eater for the station. Give us some free tanning while we don't have anything to do, hanging out at the station. That's going to be the we'll let the clock run out for the end of the first quarter. Tell me what we got going here. They moved the ball back down.
No, we're re-kicking.
Yeah, I believe there was an offsides. Heard the never saw a flag, never saw the indication, but they're going to kick it again. So with the Wildcats, will have a little bit better opportunity to improve their field position for this second try as they pushed them back a little bit. And then here comes the Wildcats front line trying to get anticipating an onside kick, it looks like, but gets kicked deep.
And that looks like it's going to number 8, Malachi Rowland again, who gets to about the 20-yard line, flips the field, and there is no one ahead of him as he starts going except for the kicker. And wow, had it not been for the kicker, he too would have taken it to the house. But instead, the kicker pushed him out of bounds on the opposing sideline at the 50-yard line. So the Wildcats, just 50 yards to go to try and tie this thing up.
Looks like they're going to mark it into the Raccoon territory. That's going to be the end of the quarter, of course. So they're not going to have far to go from the 49 to the 49, right across the 50 to switch ends of the field. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium as we've got the beginning of the second quarter here in the regular season opener for Wildcats football. The Wildcats trail 15-7, and most recently, just before the quarter ended, Malachi Rowland was able to flip the field on the kickoff and take it to the Frisco High 49 as Brady Driver gets the snap, sweeps right. Looks like he wanted to go to number 45, Luke Caden again, but instead was able to get a second read. It's hard to tell who it is on that opposing sideline. It's number 5, CJ Williams.
Yep.
It looks like he might have been just about able to get the yardage to gain on the 1st and 10. But they will rule it incomplete, so he must not have caught it with 1 foot inbounds, so it will be ruled an incomplete for Brady Driver.
So 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. I think I failed to mention that Hooten Hardware first down. Again, 11:49 left in the second quarter.
Gets the snap. That looks like it's to number 3, Douglas Deloney, as he is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the Raccoons saw that one coming, and certainly that's number 3. You're correct. And they wrapped him up and kept pushing him back. They're going to give him his forward progress and leave it right at the line of scrimmage, it looks like. So really no loss for the Wildcats, but it's going to be 3rd and long. And, again, very quickly, it's crunch time for the Wildcats. They've got to have a big play here. I've got 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right, Ross.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I saw number 14. That's Reed Williams out to the right. Hard to tell who else is out. Weston Field seems to be on the far left sideline or not. But Brady Driver takes it. Looks like he might want to take off with it, but he will get swallowed up after getting just about 2 yards on the 3rd and 10. So
Yep.
We'll make it a 4th and long at 4th and 8. And so a likely punting situation here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it looked like a horse collar tackle to me too, but I'm going to have to get a little striped uniform on next time. So I don't think I could throw a flag from this distance, but the officials didn't call that, and it is going to be 4th and 8. It's punt time for the Wildcats, and is that number 10 back to punt?
Looks to be so. Matthew Mitchell.
Okay, so yeah, it's pretty quick turnaround for the Wildcats.
Mitchell gets the snap, gets the kick away, and kicks it. But it will take not the bounce that he wanted to, as it starts going the opposite direction. But luckily, a Wildcat comes down with it and will spot it at about the 32-yard line, the Wildcats' 32.
It's about a 15-yard punt there is all that's going to net out to be. Unfortunately, Ross, so the Raccoons are going to be getting the ball with just fair field position to start out. They're going to start out on their own 32-yard line. And as they move left to right now, as we're into the second quarter, with 10:14 left in the second quarter, the opposing band did show up, by the way. So they did. We'll have a performance by both bands at halftime, and we'll also try to have an interview for you, and so a little bit of stats too. Although they may be one-sided right now. Go ahead.
Frisco High gets the snap. Quickly dishes it out to number 1, Jordan Hamilton, who is very quickly taking it upfield. He was at the 32-yard line, but he gets it all the way to the Wildcats' 49, so that is a 19-yard gain.
A real good run, and just one defender in his way there. What number was he again?
That was number 1.
Number 1.
And that's Jordan Hamilton.
And I didn't see who pushed him out of bounds, but obviously Wildcat defender safety maybe that pushed him out of bounds because he was just about to head on down the field, and some dangerous running speed on the Raccoon side of the ball.
Yeah, one thing you can't coach against is speed. As number 1, Jordan Hamilton gets the handoff again, but the junior this time was not nearly as successful as his previous rush when he went 19 yards, as this one only goes about 2 yards. So will be a second or 1 yard.
He just got 1 yard
9.
on that one, yeah, and that was the number 1 again. So that one didn't work out for him. Thank goodness for the Wildcats. The Wildcats read that play and wrapped him up pretty quick.
So with that, it will be a 2nd and 9 for this Raccoon offense.
34 is back in the backfield.
As he hands it off to yet again number 5, Bradford Martin. And much more successful run on this one as Martin gets about a 7-yard rush, it would look like.
And there's a flag on the play. In the background, but as he was running, there was nobody back there to hold, so I'm not sure what that.
Probably going to be hold.
Yeah. They're going to mark it off against the Raccoons, so that's good.
False start on the Raccoons.
There you go.
So that will make it about 3rd and 13 for this Raccoon offense. And one thing I was speaking about earlier is that Coach Owen said that the key to this victory is consistency as the Raccoons march up to the field. Number 5, Bradford Martin, yet again gets the handoff, and he takes it upfield, breaks a few tackles, gets into the secondary, and going from about the 47-yard line all the way to the 28, so about 19 yards on the rush.
Big play for the Raccoons there just when they needed it. And deep, I was just going to say they've been pushed back into their own territory, but that statement is nullified very quickly as they get deep into Wildcat territory on the 29-yard line. Here come, they're already back up to the play.
And then hands it off to number 34 again, and that is A.J. Yasili, who gets about 5 yards upfield, making it a second and manageable.
Wildcats really have to pour on the defense now and try to stop them. It would be tied up if the Wildcats hadn't had the kickoff run all the way back on that 19-second play. It just kind of took the wind out of their sails. I know it took the wind out of my sails, but I still have some hope for them. 8:15 left in the second quarter. Wildcats 7, Raccoons 15.
Miyazono gets the snap, and he sets for a pass. Screen coming over to Bradford Martin. He's got some blockers, takes it to the 10. But he cannot break through the swarm of Wildcats defenders as he is taken down at the 7-yard line. So taking it 16 yards, and now the Frisco High Raccoons are definitively in the end zone, taking it one step further in the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they certainly deep into the red zone now with 1st and 10 from the, looks like about the 8-yard line, 7-yard line. And so this is dangerous territory for the Wildcats. They're really going to have to pull out all the stops here and try to make this stop.
That's for sure. But Miyazono gets the handoff, hands it off to number 3, and that's Dylan Harden as he takes it into the end zone from 7 yards out to increase this lead against the Sulphur Springs Wildcats and make it before the PAT or 2-point conversion 21-7 over Sulphur Springs.
And immediately they come and line up. Looks like they're going to try the 2-point conversion. But they're looking over to the sidelines, checking with their coach to see exactly what they're going to do. They're threatening the 2-point, and that's what they look like they're going to do. 21-7 right now.
Number 14 gets the handoff, and number 3 is quickly. Oh, wow. And it looks like maybe he might have been tripped up by a Wildcat defender. That was number 6.
But they let him in the end zone, and they gave him the 2 points. But there's a flag on the play right in the middle of the field. Let's see what's going to happen with that.
Could it perhaps be an illegal formation?
They're going to discuss it as the Raccoons go back over to the sideline. The official comes over to talk to Coach Owens. Yeah, Coach Owens. No, what is that?
I think that is
unsportsmanlike conduct against the Wildcats. Not sure what that was all about, but that they allow the 2-point conversion. That is good. So it's 23-7. The Raccoons over the Wildcats. 7:36 to play in the second quarter. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a moment. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium where the Wildcats are down 7-23 against the Frisco High Raccoons. And Ross, I was just noticing the official walked the wrong way, in my opinion. Walked the ball back there, so the kickoff's going to be a little further back. So what do we got going there? All the way to the 25-yard line. What's up with that?
So clearly it's some kind of penalty against the Frisco High Raccoons because, yeah, look, the Wildcats who are set to receive the kick are now.
And when they called maybe there was an offsetting penalty, but they called something. I saw the unsportsmanlike conduct, but it was against the Frisco Raccoons. I had that backward, not against the Wildcats, so that's good. They still get it happened on the 2-point conversion. They still get the 2-point conversion, but the penalty is marked off. It must have happened after the play, obviously. And so now it's marked off against the Raccoons. They'll be kicking off the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff from their own 25-yard line. And then our receivers need to come up a little bit.
Yeah, they sure do. But looks like that's number 8, Malachi Rowland. He loses control of the snap real quick, but he gets around some defenders and gets all the way up to about the 37-yard line. So not a bad return after he kind of miffed the catching of the ball a little bit there.
Yeah, so a good turned out well for the Wildcats. He picked that up about the 20-yard line, looks like, and then made it up to the 32-yard line. The Wildcats will start with their Hooten's Hardware first down from their own 32-yard line. See if they can make some of this and get a few more points on the board.
Yeah, that's for sure. They will definitely need it against such a run-heavy offense like the Frisco High. Oh, goodness, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Frisco High, number 34. That's A.J. Yasili, takes it all the way to the house, 32 yards for a pick six to make it, as it stands right now, 29-7 over the Frisco over the Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
Bad turn of events for the Wildcats, 29-7. Now they're down. Very quick turnaround where number 10 was back in as quarterback, and that number 34 is just a huge presence on the field. He's the one that had the long run earlier in the game for the Frisco Raccoons. And so the Raccoons going to choose to kick this one. The ball is down, kick is up, and it's good. So it's going to make it 30-7 with 7:21 left in the second quarter. So a lot of points on the board in a very short amount of time. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, all those points are on the other side. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in just a minute. And welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium. Unfortunately, the Wildcats are down 30-7 with 7:21 left in the first half, and they're back to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff yet again after a quick turn of events. Ross, I didn't catch the time on the last, but the Wildcats just got to run one play through an interception, unfortunately, and they marched it into the end zone. So the Raccoons are going to get to kick off yet again. So at least we get the ball again. We've got same receivers back to receive. We've got number 10, number 8, and looks like they're going to be kicking deep, but let's see what happens.
And it looks like we got something of a squib kick, as it looks like it might have, it didn't even make it inbounds, so it will be a penalty on the Frisco High Raccoons, and will give the Wildcats pretty good starting field position here as they trail 30-7 with 7:21 left in the second quarter.
And the Wildcats will be coming out for the Hooten's Hardware first down, and they're marking off the ball here and see where that's going to end up. We're going to put it on the 30-yard line, so the Wildcats will have their first and 10 from the 30-yard line in their own territory. Let's see who we've got in for quarterback this. We've been switching back and forth. 15's back in, so.
Sophomore Brady Driver. And that was, as Chad said earlier, Matthew Mitchell, who threw the pick six on the last drive to number 34, A.J. Yasili. But again, now Brady Driver's in at quarterback. Gets the snap and hands it off to Douglas Deloney. But that's not fooling anyone, as even though he's able to break a few tackles, is still tackled for a loss of what might be about 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, they Raccoons saw that one coming, and he tried to change direction, get on the other side of the field, but they weren't having it. They wrapped him up pretty quick, and that's going to make it 2nd and 12 for the Wildcats.
Well, the issue is that, you put in a running back like J.J. Hall as Brady Driver gets the snap, starts to look for his options, and oh my goodness, it's intercepted again by A.J. Yasili. And just like that, he starts taking off, and he breaks a few tackles. Will he make it all the way to the end zone? touchdown. Touchdown Frisco High, but we might have a flag on the play.
We do have a flag on the play over here by Greg Owens. It's the penalty's not against Greg Owens. It's just the location of the flag over here. So we'll see what they're going to call on that.
And again, that was 34 A.J. Yasili. If it stands, it'll be his second interception in this game and in the quarter.
Let's see what the officials coming over to pick up the flag. They're coming back over close to the line of scrimmage where they were. They haven't moved the sticks. Ball's placed back where it was. It was against the Raccoons. The officials' microphones are not working tonight, so we just have to guess at this point. They give the Wildcats 5 yards against the Raccoons, so that puts them up at 2nd and 7 now from the Wildcat 33-yard line.
Brady Driver still in at quarterback. Gets the handoff, and he keeps it himself. Starts taking it upfield. He's past the 40, 45, 50. And he passes the Frisco 45-yard line before getting pushed out of bounds for the first down. So going from the 33-yard line to the opposing 40.
Good run by
45.
Brady Driver there, so keeping that and getting where he needed to go. So that's a
25-yard rush
into Raccoon territory. A Hooten's Hardware first down, 1st and 10 on the 45.
Driver gets the snap, gives the screen quickly over to number 8, and he is just as quickly able to get about 8 or 9 yards on the play on first down to make it a 2nd and short, very short in fact.
Yes, he got about 9 3/4 yards on that. No, he's about 9 yards. It really has about a yard and a half to get to the first down, but a great reception and run by number 8.
And that's Malachi Rowland again. Driver gets the snap, throws it deep, but overshoots his receiver, and that looks like it's...
Thought maybe they were going to throw a flag on that one, but again, no.
That was number 16, Weston Fields, the intended receiver on the play.
Yeah, it was a little pushing down there as the ball was in the air, but the officials let it go, and the ball was a little bit overthrown. So going to be 3rd down and 2.
And very quickly, wow, and Malachi Rowland fumbles the ball. The offensive lineman for the Wildcats, number 59, quickly pounces on it, and good for him to do so, because if he hadn't, Sean Dial on the play, coming down with the fumble, then, well, perhaps the Frisco High Raccoons could have picked it up and started taking it the other way, but instead it will be a 4th and long for the Wildcats offense. So
lost about 4 yards on that play. Malachi lost. He got it just got ripped out of his hands, and he got thrown to the ground, and the ball came loose. And thank goodness a Wildcat offensive lineman was there to pick it up to save a turnover. Now looks like Wildcats are going to go for it. Nope. Looks like he's going to punt. Is that Matt Mitchell into punt?
Sure is. And it's blown dead before Matthew Mitchell can get the kickoff.
So something happened there. Let's see what the official says. Well, it's against the Wildcat. Or no, excuse me, against the against the Wildcats. Going to back them up a little bit, make it a little bit longer of a punt, 5 yards. Must have been a false start.
So now they'll be kicking from Frisco's about 46-yard line.
Looks like it.
And for the Raccoons, that's number 23, Drew Johnson, the senior, set to receive the punt. But he will let it go as it slowly but surely kind of bounces its way out toward the sideline, the Wildcat sideline, at about the 22-yard line is where the ball is placed. So when we return, it will be Frisco High football here in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a few messages from our sponsors. And welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium as it's Raccoon football. Number 18 quickly dishes it out to number 23, the player that just received the punt, Drew Johnson. But it was not ruled a complete pass, so it will be an incomplete pass and make it 2nd and 10 for the Raccoon offense with 4:51 left in this first half. The Frisco High Raccoons are leading big over the Wildcat football team 30-7 here.
4:51 left in the half, and yeah, it's just the Wildcats need to turn around, get some more points on the board before the half. It's gonna make it a long night. Here they come back up to the line.
18 hands it off to number 3, Dylan Harden, and he starts turning it upfield and very quickly makes his way around the entire offensive line and all of the defenders before he makes it about, looks close to 20 yards upfield. Going from the...
He's way back here on the 22, and I think he made, it looks like he stepped out of bounds maybe at the 38, so they're just going to call it a 16-yard run.
So a 16-yard run there for Dylan Harden, the senior, as he's still able to get the first down for the Raccoons. 4:42 left in the first half. Ball is on their own 41-yard line. As number 34 again, AJ Yasili, takes it up the middle and gets all the way up for the first down. He got it, looks like about 13 to 15 yards.
He's into Wildcat territory. He's going to start their 1st and 10 in Wildcat territory on the Wildcat 48-yard line. A great run. He's just a powerhouse. He just powers through anybody. We didn't get the weights in the roster, but he's kind of head and shoulders above some of those other players. So hard to bring down when he gets the ball. 4:12 left in the first half.
Raccoons back up at the line, and Miyazono kind of fumbles the snap a little bit before deciding to take it up himself.
And Wildcats indicating they have it.
Looks like a fumble.
Yep.
Wildcats look like they may have it.
Yes, well, it'd be a great turn of events for the Wildcats. Every Wildcat is indicating that they've recovered the fumble, but we need somebody in a black and white shirt to do the same. Let's see what the discussion is.
And it looks like the refs are taking a moment here to discuss.
They may be trying to discuss whether the ball was blown dead before they discovered the fumble. Now here comes, there's the indication. They're going to switch sides here, and the Wildcats are going to get the ball on their own 48, 47-yard line maybe. Depends on where they spot it. So a great turn of events, a fumble recovery for the Wildcats. And unfortunately, I didn't see who that recovered the ball. It was a sea of yellow jerseys there. So the Wildcats are going to get to start from their own 47, a little bit to get to midfield. So the Hootens Hardware first down for the Wildcats. Let me see who we've got in back, number 10 back in for the quarterback for the Wildcats.
Matthew Mitchell. And Mitchell gets his offensive line set. Ready for the snap. Gets it. Fakes the handoff and dishes it out to what looks like could be, number 5, C.J. Williams.
A great catch, but he was running. He just, his quick feet were taking him out of bounds. He tried to small step it there and stay in bounds, but just couldn't do it. Picks up about 4 yards, it looks like. It's going to be second and 6 for the Wildcats, right at the 49 of the Raccoons.
And Mitchell fakes the handoff, sweeps right. Ooh. And number 5, C.J. Williams, catches the ball, but he is hit high, and there is a flag thrown.
All the way from the other side of the field, so.
Yeah, so I think they're going to call it on that high hit against the Raccoon defender.
It looked like it, yes. Let's see what they're going to. That happened way over the other side of the field. Here it is, right?
No. Oh, wow. It's against the Wildcats.
Is that an eligible receiver?
I believe so, yes.
And so that reception is going to be negated, and now the Wildcats are going to get pushed back. It's going to make it, it was 2nd and
6, so now it's about 2nd and 11.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
I knew Ross was good at math.
So Matthew Mitchell about set for the snap. We'll get a retry on 2nd and 11. Fakes the handoff to Malachi rolling in. Oh my goodness. Number 45 is open. He's taking it 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Wow, what a fantastic reception right over the middle. After the fake handoff, he was wide open and shook off a couple of defenders, just outran them and took it all the way in to the end zone, put 6 more points on the board for the Wildcats, bringing it to 13-30 as we wait for the extra point or the 2-point conversion. Looks like the Wildcats are going to kick it, but Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats for taking that one into the end zone.
And that was number 45, Luke Caton, who went 46 yards to the house to make this just over a 2-possession game, as the Wildcats now trail 30-14 with 3:04 left here in the first half. As again, Luke Caton is able to scream right down Broadway all the way to the end zone to make it 30-14 for the Wildcats, a 16-point deficit. So when we return, the Raccoons will get another chance to see if they can increase this lead again, or perhaps the Wildcat football team will keep chipping into this lead. So when we return after a few messages from our sponsors, we'll find out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Wildcats just put 7 more points on the board to bring that score a little closer together. The Wildcats 14, the Frisco High Raccoons 30 through a couple of turns of events, that an interception. They ran back a kickoff. So some bad luck for the Wildcats, but they pulled it a little bit closer as they get set to kick off the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. The Raccoons are back to receive. Still moving left to right. 3 minutes and 4 seconds left in the half. The Wildcats really need to stop their momentum against the Raccoons here. Here comes the kickoff. Ross?
And it looks like, well, 23, Cameron Johnson starts to take it up for Frisco High, and he's got not many blockers ahead of him as he passes the 30-yard line. Will he get all the way to the end zone? No, he will be tackled down at the 20-yard line. So special teams has become something of an issue for the Wildcats here in this game, as almost a second kickoff was returned for a touchdown.
Yeah, little pooch kick there, just right over the front line, and the Raccoon special teams snapped it up and just ran off with it. They kind of even saw it was coming, so they were halfway through all of the Wildcats before we knew it, and it was just a couple of defenders. Didn't see who which Wildcat brought him down, but just by the fingertips got him, or he would have gone all the way to the house. The Raccoons have great field position on the Wildcat 20, 1st and 10.
Just like that, first play of the drive, and they are in the red zone, as it looks like there was some sort of issue with the snap, and so they will be tackled for a loss. Looks like number 18, the quarterback.
He lost his helmet, so he's probably going to come out for a play, and somebody else is coming in. Not sure what happened, but the Wildcats jumped all over that one. But they only gave him a loss of 1 on that, so it's going to be 2nd and 11 from the 21. Deep into Wildcat territory, 2 minutes and 48 seconds left on the clock as it ticks down.
I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier. That was number 18, Wyatt Carson, the senior, who just had troubles with the snap. His helmet fell off, and so he was subbed out. And now at quarterback is number 14, Brandon Miyazono, the junior. And we'll see what he can do, if for at the very least just this play. But he hands it off to number 34. You know him well, A.J. Yasili, as he takes it. Looks like it might be about 3 or 4 yards. And just got an update from Lady Cats volleyball coach Bailey Dorner's aunt, Sherry Looney, regarding the Lady Cats volleyball team's game today, in which the Lady Cats were out in Lindale at 4:30 p.m. taking on the Lady Eagles, and the Lady Cats were able to win in 3 sets, 2-1. And those came at set scores of 25-17, 25-21, and 25-22. So with that win, the Lady Cats volleyball's team overall record is now 11-8. Back to Wildcat football. Number 18, Carson, is back out there, and it looks like he's got a pass he wants to give it to, and oh my goodness, what a pass to the end zone, 18 yards for a touchdown. A little difficult to tell who got that touchdown pass. Perhaps you can tell, Chad.
Well, looks like number 7 off the field over there is the smaller of those players is number 7, if that's who caught the ball. It was wrapped up by a couple of Wildcat defenders, but somehow came down with it, and they've increased their scores by 6 more points, 36-14, and we're waiting for the extra point. Too many men on the field. The snap is fumbled, and the Wildcats wrap them up in the background. I don't think that the officials saw that there were too many Raccoons on the field. Somebody was running out, and the coaches were yelling at him to get off, and so here comes the flag on the play. We're going to see. Here comes the call. Really wish they'd get their microphones working. Official discussing with Coach Owens on the sidelines.
Yep.
I guess that was a hold against the Wildcats. I guess they're going to re-kick. So they missed the other Raccoon coming out on the field, and a little bit, but they're going to re-kick, and here it comes for the Raccoons.
Number 11, Gavin Marshall for the kick, and it's good.
So that brings the score 37-14, 2:15 left in the half for the Wildcats. A quick turn of events yet again, and the Wildcats are down even further. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in just a moment. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium. Unfortunately, Ross, the Wildcats are back to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff, and that means it's because the Raccoons have scored again. 37-14, 2:15 left in the half. Not where the Wildcats want to be. Every time they seem to get a little momentum going, they get shut down, and something else happened, and the Raccoons put some points on the board.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Chad. It's at least on 2 occasions tonight. One team has scored a touchdown as the Wildcats pick up the kickoff, take it out of bounds. But yes, as you were saying, a lot of times a team has scored, and whether it be Frisco High and then follows up with another Frisco High touchdown, it seems like whenever one team scores, the other has to respond, or another touchdown is quick to follow. So
I know. I looked on that kickoff. It dropped about the 25-yard line, rolled and got picked up by number 8 at the 20, and then he ran up to about the 28. Looks like that's where the Wildcats are going to start and have their Hootens Hardware first down. 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
one thing I was going to mention earlier, as number 10 Matthew Mitchell is set for the snap, gets it, set for the screen, gets it out, and it looks like
16.
Number 16 Weston Fields was able to get into some space and start to take off with it. Only got about 5 yards after being tackled by a Frisco High defender. But one of the things I was going to say earlier is that one of the things that you kind of have to watch out for against one of these run-heavy teams is that, being that they are run-heavy, you know, at the end of games, when teams would ice the rest of the game,
right?
Matthew Mitchell set to get the snap. They'll run a lot to kind of drain the clock, as number 8, Malachi Rowland, starts to take off with it. Gets upfield, shifting in position, and he goes from about the 33-yard line to still on the Wildcat side of the field, but all the way to the 46.5-yard line. So about 13 yards on the play. Not bad at all.
Looks like it. Yeah, he ran about 50 yards back and forth to try to get that. Not as much as that, but he had to change direction a couple of times. Now it looks like we have a. Is this going to be a timeout?
Yeah, it looks like we've got a Raccoon player down.
Oh, we're going to have an injury timeout. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back with you after this injury timeout in just a moment. Wildcat play-by-play football brought to you by iFocus Eye Care, Sulphur Springs Dodge, Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op, J. Hodge Chevrolet, Wesley House Assisted Living, our friends over at Alliance Bank, Hometown Realty, City National Bank, Hooten's Hardware and Emery, Farm Country Inc., CPI Imaging, Christus Hospital in Sulphur Springs, and of course Saputo Foods. All sponsors of Wildcat play-by-play football as we come up to the half here in just a moment. Probably can't come soon enough, Ross, for some of these players. 1:24 left before the half.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's we've seen a lot of offense from Frisco High here as Matthew Mitchell about set to get the snap. And it's been mostly Frisco High here, but the Wildcats have had ability to move the ball as number 46, that's Carson Fenton, is able to get a pass very similar to the one that was Luke Caton got and took 46 yards to the house. Split the linebackers and had nothing but green grass ahead of him in the middle of the field, able to get about 10 yards on the play. But that will be a Wildcat first down.
In Raccoon territory, Hooten's Hardware first down.
Exactly right. Matthew Mitchell gets the snap. Looks like he's going deep. Weston Fields is out there. Oh, and it looks like he had his hands on it, but
the defender was all over him, and this is where, yet again, I would throw a flag all the way here from the press box. I don't know if I can make it that far, but it really should have been a penalty on that because the defender was all over him as the ball was in the air, and would have been a fantastic reception. Perfectly thrown, really.
After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10. Ball still on the Frisco High 42. 58 seconds left here in the first half. Matthew Mitchell gets the snap, fakes the handoff to number 3, Douglas Deloney, and then quickly gets it out to Cable Glenn over on the Wildcats sideline to about the 33-yard line.
Another good pickup of yardage, about 8 yards, about 9 yards there. It's going to leave it at second and, is that 3rd and 2 is what that's going to be?
Appears so.
Yep.
And the important thing about Cable Glenn getting out of bounds is that it stops the clock here.
51 seconds left. Wildcats on the Raccoon 34.
Mitchell set for the snap. Gets it. Defense is blitzing. But very quickly they hand it off to Douglas Deloney. They weren't expecting that as he gets about 5 or 6 yards upfield for the first down, but he will be tackled inbounds, so it keeps the clock running. 43 seconds and counting. But it looks like a timeout will be called for the stoppage in time, so to make sure that the Wildcats have the best opportunity possible to score.
Well, looks like they're running the clock still.
All right, so quick timeout there.
Timeout. They just moved the sticks.
Matthew Mitchell gets the ball, passes it deep, way out there.
Incomplete pass, really overthrown to, it was good defense by the Raccoons, but the ball was overthrown. 27 seconds left. That's going to stop the clock and let the Wildcats kind of regroup here. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 at the Raccoon 28. This is the Wildcats really need to make something out of this. Still, all the timeouts left that Coach Owens can take here in the first half. 3 timeouts. Here comes the snap. Matt Mitchell still in?
Yes, sir. Mitchell gets the snap, hands it off to Douglas Deloney. And again, I don't think they were expecting the running back draw as he gets about 5 yards on the play. And the Wildcats just as quickly call a timeout after the play. Be about 2nd and 4 after the timeout. 22 seconds left here in the first half as the Wildcats still trail 37 to 14, but they are driving.
Yeah, we're going to take a short break. I don't think this is going to be very long. 22 seconds left on the clock. We'll take a short break and be back with you in a minute.
And welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium as it's Wildcats football in their season opener as they host the Frisco High Raccoons. It's been a bit of a tough first half for Coach Greg Owens and his staff and players as they again trail 37 to 14, but they do have the ball and are driving at the Frisco High 26 with 22 seconds left, but only 2 timeouts left. So will they be able to score and potentially make it a bit closer and return it to a 16-point deficit for the Wildcats, or will it continue to be more of the same and the Wildcats will be stymied here at the end of their drive? We'll find out here soon as the Wildcats offense is set. Mitchell gets the snap, rolls out left. He's got Deloney blocking for him. Will he get the pass away in time? But number 1 was out there.
Yeah, kind of overthrew that or threw it away. He was feeling a lot of pressure from the Raccoons, and now it's 17 seconds left. That's going to bring up, it's going to be third down, and we'll see what incomplete pass, of course, is going to stop the clock. We'll see, probably going to be a passing play here. Time is dwindling for the Wildcats. They just switch out 4 or 5 players here on the offense, so they've got something up their sleeve.
And I believe that
play clock down to 7.
They are going for a field goal kick at about the 23-yard line, so a 41-yard kick for Uriel Santa Cruz.
But they take a timeout just as 1 second is left on the play clock to give them a little bit more time to talk about it and think about it. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in just a second. And for our YouTube watchers, stay tuned for the halftime show. We'll be broadcasting the drill team and the band, and we'll have an interview with somebody from Christus Mother Francis Hospital as well, so stay tuned. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Wildcats took a quick timeout. They're going back up to the line of scrimmage. 17 seconds. It looks like it's they were showing they were going to kick, and that's what looks like what they're going to do. Yep, we've got the holder down, and Santa Cruz is back to kick. She's going to be kicking from about the 30-yard line. So Wildcats want to put some points on the board.
31-yard kick on the way. Uriel Santa Cruz kicks is no good.
It went a little wide to the left there. It had the length, and there's not much wind. There's no wind at all, but it just drifted off to the left. So unfortunately, the Wildcats could not put 3 more points on the board before the half. And I'm guessing the Raccoons will come out and take a knee and send us into halftime. With 17 seconds left, the Wildcats are down 14-37 against the Frisco High Raccoons. They'll be taking the ball over deep in their own territory, Ross. Looks like about the 23-yard line. And I think the honorable thing to do here is to take a knee, and they're in that formation. But they run it right up the middle.
And that's number 5.
Yep.
Brandon Martin, yet
and
again.
He gets it all the way up to the 45-yard line. 10 seconds, 9. The clock is ticking. And they stop the clock. I'm not sure to move the chains or if somebody has called timeout. The ball's up on the 44-yard line, still in Raccoon territory, but a timeout has been taken. It looks like on the Raccoon side. We're going to stick with you during this timeout because I don't think it's going to be too terribly long. Would be I think the nice thing to do would be take a knee and just go ahead and run this one out and let everybody go get kind of regrouped in the locker room. Don't you, Ross? But it doesn't look like they're going to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly thought maybe that they were going to just, like Chad was saying, nail the ball and call it a half, as they still lead here by 23 points, 37-14 with 9 seconds to go, but it looks like they've got their eyes on the end zone.
Yes, and during our halftime show that'll be coming up, we'll have an interview with a Christus doctor, the orthopedic surgeon. It's Dr. Meltsakis. And not sure when that's going to be because I'm not sure when the bands are going to play, to be honest with you. Usually it'd be the visiting band, and they're all down close to the field, but everything changes these days, and so we'll have to see what that brings us. They're all lined up on the 49-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Raccoons.
Quickly hands it off to number 1, Ismail Taylor, and he takes it upfield. Hurdles a Wildcat defender and hurdles him over the 40-yard line all the way to the Wildcats' 38-yard line with just 1 second to go and just enough time to call a timeout and get ready for a field goal or a potential Hail Mary to the end zone.
A little long for a field goal, I think, but yes, you're right. They're going to have to do something, and they're going to try to. I think they're going to try to push it into the end zone. They don't seem to be stopping. They quickly call timeout. A great run by the Raccoons, and as he hurdled that Wildcat defender, if he had made it, if he hadn't got tripped up on that Wildcat helmet, he would have possibly gone into the end zone. But thank goodness he got tripped up, and both teams are discussing exactly what what they can do with the Wildcats are feverishly trying to figure out what they can do to stop this Raccoon offense. The Raccoons are over there trying to figure out what they've got up their sleeve and what they can do to put it in the end zone is what I'm guessing. I think it's going to be a Hail Mary. Is that what your money's on, Ross?
I would say so, even though their running back, number 5, Bradford Martin, has had his way with this Wildcat defense tonight. I would say yes. It's when they do pass, they seem to not have too much issue getting that ball moving.
Well, the receiver is already lined up out there for the Raccoons, number 23 on the far side. He looked excited to get up to the line of scrimmage, and sure enough, they pass it over the middle, and it's incomplete. That's going to be the end of the half. 37 for the Frisco High Raccoons, 14 for the Wildcats. Not a good first half for the Wildcats, as it's triple zeros, and the both teams are heading to the locker room. So the Wildcats are certainly going to have to regroup and try to come up with something new as they come out for the second half. We're going to take a minute here to listen to some of our sponsors for our halftime, and then we'll be back. Looks like we've got the Frisco band that's coming up first, and so we'll have an interview with Dr. Milsakis here in just a couple of minutes. We'll send it back to the studio with James, taking a break, and we'll see you back here in just a moment. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium as we listen to the Frisco High Raccoon Band in our background, and their drill team is performing. But we've got Dr. Milsakis, who's our orthopedic surgeon at Christus Mother Frances Hospital here in Sulphur Springs. We've got him in the booth with us, and he also works not only a full-time job at the hospital doing a lot of orthopedic surgery, but he also works with some of the trainers too with the football team, with the Wildcats, and we're lucky that he can be up here with us because I'm guessing, Doctor, that means that there's not any injuries to attend to down in the locker room.
Well, not right now, but we did have a couple in the first half.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's kind of an aggressive football out there. And, of course, the first game, taking those hits, I guess that's a time where there can be some injuries.
There certainly can be.
Yes. And so what else do you do as an orthopedic surgeon up here at Christus Mother Frances Hospital in Sulphur Springs?
Well, so we take care of all of our local athletes. We have a sports program here as well. On Saturday mornings, we have a free clinic 9 to 11. It's open, first come, first serve. Anybody who's 7th grade through college can come in. We can do a free x-ray for exam, kind of get the diagnostics going for any of those injuries and kind of expedite their care on that end. Aside from the athletics portion of it, we do joint replacements and fracture care and all the general orthopedic needs for people.
So you really see a wide range of patients, as it were, because some of those the hips and knees and stuff like that, of course, possibly from our older crowd, but you do a lot of the stuff, some of the sports injury stuff from the younger kids. And now tell me again, that's anybody in the county, I guess, is eligible to go to that free sports
Yes.
clinic you're talking about.
Yes, sir. So, it's open to all of our local athletes. We don't just cover just Sulphur Springs, but we, Winsboro, Mount Vernon, Quinlan, all of the surrounding schools in this area.
Okay, that's fantastic, and that's just and y'all been doing that. I guess for 3 or 4 years now, and that on Saturday morning, and that's just just a fantastic service for our hospital to provide, and because that's even after a Friday night game, then somebody wakes up Saturday morning and they think, you know what, maybe I should have had that checked out. Is that what you find? Is that the case?
Yeah, that happens pretty often. That once the adrenaline kind of wears off, the guys kind of are like, oh, my shoulder might hurt, my knee might hurt, my ankle really hurts. And it's not just football. It's any athlete that comes in cross country, volleyball. It happens, bumps and bruises and all sorts of stuff. Sometimes it happens during the week and it catches up to them by the weekend, and it's easier to get in on a Saturday.
Right, yeah. And that's 7th grade through college, and that's every Saturday morning all the way through every...
November 13th.
November 13th. Okay, there's an exact date there. Okay, so that's probably through the football season for everybody around, and that covers a lot of players. I don't know how many athletes that really covers, but all the different teams that we have, and some college players that may be back in town after they've played a college game somewhere. So that's a fantastic service, and we applaud you for having that, and thank you for managing that. You're there every Saturday, or every Saturday you can be, I guess?
I'm there every Saturday. Yeah.
Every Saturday, because that's your gig, and you need to be lined up and for that, I guess. Well, that's great. And I was noticing the other day something's not really under your purview, but something else that the hospital's done, and that's they've secured that MMU, the medical mobile medical unit. I'm not saying that right, am I? But anyway, they somehow arranged for some extra space there at the hospital in case they need it at some point. They're not. I don't think they're using it right now, but you've probably seen that tent. We did a story on our website, ksstradio.com, and that's another way that the hospital seems to be getting ready and trying to be prepared, for anything that comes.
Yes, sir. So certainly we've seen a number of COVID cases lately that have been increasing, and we're expecting there's a surge that may be coming in the upcoming months. In order to keep kind of servicing our area and making sure that we have space available for both sick people and other people who may need other care at the hospital, there's this mobile medical unit that has been established there. It has an additional 45 beds, fully air conditioned.
Oh, wow,
fully
45
heated.
beds, great.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, well, I saw them set. I didn't mean to interrupt. I saw that. I didn't know it was going to be that many beds. I saw them setting it up the other day, and it really all came together very well. So I saw staff from the hospital, of course, and then the EMS unit, which is under our hospital district's purview, and then the county was there providing extra labor, the emergency management, which is those folks which are under the county as well. So a lot of people coming together and making it. I don't know who contacted who to get that here to begin with, but when it came and showed up, a lot of people came to put all that together. And if and when it's needed, it sounds like it's going to be a fantastic asset for our community.
It's certainly a great addition, and it will definitely help us to continue care for the whole community as we kind of deal with the kind of surge in cases and
Sure.
the ability just to serve everybody that we need to.
Right, and that's great, and we certainly appreciate that. I know that's not really, obviously you know a lot about it, but it's not exactly orthopedic surgery, but it does impact that, because I remember when all elective surgeries were shut down for a while, and that pushed some people back, and I'm sure that was difficult for you and some of your patients, because some of that doesn't seem to be real elective when you're hurting. You've got to have that surgery. So
Yes, sir.
And so this will provide some extra space, or maybe it could be used as a triage if the emergency room overflows, or whatever the case. But it's up and it's ready and it's staffed. And I saw those big generators and all those air conditioning units, and they got that put together very quickly because they had so much help from all the different agencies. What a wonderful thing for our community. So again, thank you for being a part of that. What else would you like to add? I knew. That's exactly what the response I get when I give my wife the same opportunity. But just kind of throw it out there. Well, you're a wonderful asset to the community, Dr. Milsakis, our orthopedic surgeon here at Christus Mother Frances Hospital, and also the director of the free sports clinic that happens at Christus, and that they enter through the emergency room to get to that sport?
No, they come directly to our orthopedic clinic.
See, I didn't know that. And so, again, exactly where is the orthopedic clinic?
That's 103B Medical Circle Drive. There's a large sign in front that says "Athletes Welcome."
That's a great way to do it. So you don't have to look for orthopedics, or you don't have to look for that address. You look for the big sign that says "Athletes Welcome." What a great idea. Even I could find it. Well, Dr. Milsakis, thank you for being here with us in the booth, and thank you for being here in the community, because you're a wonderful asset to our community, as well as Christus Mother Frances Hospital is. So thank you for that, and thank you for all you do.
And thank you so much for having me.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
The Frisco Band is under the direction of David Simon, Matthew Courtney, Steve Dillard, Phil Martinez. The color guard is directed by Sophie Alexis. Supplemental instructions. Supplemental instruction staff includes Dr. Marty Courtney, Rhiannon Haney, Scott Howard, Presley Arvin, and Ashley Manning. The members of the staff of the Frisco Band would like to thank the parents and volunteers who work tirelessly behind the scenes to help realize this season's long-term vision. We also appreciate the administration and staff at Frisco High School and Frisco ISD for all of their support. The Frisco Band would like to wish the Sulphur Springs High School Band the best of luck in all their endeavors this season. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy this evening.
And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Frisco High Raccoon Band has left the field, and the Wildcat Band is making their way over to the field. This is one of our favorite parts of these ball games. We want to give certainly a little extra credit to the band and the drill team and all the hard work that they put in. They had a shortened season last year as well, and there was reduced competitions for the band, and a lot of things that some of those participants missed last year. But here we are at the first game, and 15 minutes still left in the half is what the time clock says, but the band's making their way to the field, and the drill team is kind of lining up, so we're going to get a good performance in. We'll hear from Jordan Owens on the PA system here in just a moment, announcing and introducing what's going to be going on. As he steps out, they're waiting for everybody to get lined up. Here comes the percussion section on our side of the field, and then the rest of the band on the other side of the field. Just a huge band. Ross, I know you were in band also, and Alan, a much larger band, I'm sure.
Just a bit.
How many, like twice as large, 3 times? How many members you think you had?
Between the band, the color guard, and then the drill team, we had 800 members.
My goodness. So that's, yes, far eclipse what we have here. But we have a very long-standing tradition with our band of winning competitions. So they've always done a great job. Spencer Emmert, the band director here now, is carrying on that tradition. A long tradition through other band directors, and he's picking it up. Here it comes.
Sulphur Springs High School is proud to present the distinguished 60th line of the Blue Blazers as they strike up the board. Sergeants for this year are Benaya Gatlin, McKenna Wilson, Desiree Hall, Calissa Johnson, and Justice Jones. Officers for the 60th line are Junior Lieutenants Sally Spraggins, Emily James, Jocelyn Yanez, Olivia Worth, Macy Pepes, your co-captain, and Captain Haven Walker Moore. The Blazers would like to recognize their spirit girl, Lainey Horn, and their outstanding Blaze of the Week, Jackie Mondolo. The Blazers are under the direction of Meredith Dial and Assistant Director Candy McGraw. Tonight, the Blazers will be performing an exciting streamer routine to Celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the 50-yard line as the band is about to be led onto the field by senior drum majors Joel Villarino and Clayton Boykin and junior drum major Catherine De La Rosa. Man, oh man, that Wildcat band. Tonight, the band is proud to kick off its 2021 performance season with an opener to our show, Be Our Guest. The Wildcat band would like to recognize this week's section of the week and this year's first Spirit Stick recipient, the Color Guard. Also, this week's band members of the week are Aliyah Cheatham and Jace Walton. Wildcat fans, join us tonight in the kitchen as we begin to prepare the meal for an exciting marching season. Ladies and gentlemen, Sulphur Springs High School is proud to present the Wildcat Band. Sulphur Springs High School Wildcat Band. Brittany Robinette, Zachary Griffin, Steve Proctor, and Connor Goff. Tonight's soloists were Alexis Florino, Jackson Medline, Colby Albritton, Alex Patello, Hannah Hughes, and Cohen Elliott. The band would like to thank our awesome boosters for their continuous hard work. This has been the voice of the Wildcat band saying, let's get on our feet this second half and cheer on the Wildcats to a victory.
Well, Ross, another fantastic performance by the Wildcat band and of course the drill team. So no surprise there, though, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
And 3 minutes still left. The teams are coming back out on the field. Looks like everybody's kind of getting ready. Wildcats slowly coming out of the locker room. Just see a couple of Wildcats now. The Raccoon football team's already back on the field, running some sprints into the end zone there. 37-14, the Raccoons over the Wildcats. What do you think is going to be the mantra as they come back out from the locker room? What do you think the discussion was in the Wildcat locker room?
Well, I think there was obviously some positives and some negatives to take away from the first half. You know, obviously the Wildcats seemed at times like they did not have any issues moving the ball. A number of times the Wildcats, in fact, were able to respond to the Frisco High Raccoon offense, scoring a touchdown with a touchdown of their own.
Right.
But it seemed like a lot of times, and this is one of the things Coach Owens talked about during our weekly interview with him on Wednesday, is that they had to stay consistent if they wanted to stay in this game against such a potent offense in the Frisco High Raccoons.
Right, and you're right. If you take those two scores off the board real quick, then it's a little bit closer game. There's still we've been a little bit outscored, but the run back on the kickoff and then the interception deep in our own territory where they just a pick six and ran it right into the end zone. That we don't want to see that, but we can maybe and the special teams just going to have to maybe step it up on the kickoff returns on the Wildcat side because that one really stung, and every time the Wildcats score, then the Raccoons seem to come back and just answer, and that's really got to take the wind out of their sails. I said that before, and the Wildcats are coming out on the field now and trying to stretch and get ready for the second half. I see Coach Owens down there, but I think you're absolutely right. They're just going to have to keep on keeping on, step it up with what they're already doing, and the Wildcats know what they need to do. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Raccoons do for the second half if they're going to change it up. They keep giving the ball to number 5, and they keep going, and he keeps running, and it's just a powerhouse. And then I guess it was the other number 34 that they snuck in there on a couple of big plays and changed it up, and then that wasn't good for the Wildcats either. So I don't think the Raccoons are going to change up what they're doing. I think they're going to keep pressing forward. I think it's up to the Wildcats to try to answer that call.
I think you're absolutely right, yeah. And, just like you were saying, number 5, Bradford Martin, he's been kind of running roughshod over these Wildcat defenses. And you're absolutely right. Number 3, Dylan Harden has been able to come in and make a few key plays to kind of advance the sticks. But the best advice I can give Coach Owens and his staff, obviously they're not listening, but I would just say, just
you never know.
Keep on keeping on, just like you were saying. But also, and what he said earlier this week is that, they're going to beat us on some plays, and they're going to send some things at us that they weren't ready for. And I think we've gotten kind of a taste of that. But the Wildcats really need to make stops on the early downs, first and second, as the Wildcats make their way onto the field.
Yep, they're coming out there. They look excited. The Raccoons are already on their side of the field. let's see, the Wildcats received the first opening kickoff, so that means the Raccoons will be, they deferred when they won the toss, and they'll be receiving the kickoff now. At the start of the second half, we'll have the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. And so, yeah, and it's a preseason game, and it's the first game of the season, and we switched opponents, 2 days or 3 days before the game, and so it is what it is. The Wildcats have had some very, very good plays. We just want to see more, a little more dedication in the second half. And so the Wildcats will be coming out here. The Raccoons are already getting lined up on the field. And they just have one kickoff receiver back there, number 1. I guess here comes the other young man, number 2. 1 and 2 again to receive the kickoff for the Raccoons. I would guess that our same kicker will be kicking off for the Wildcats. Probably not looking for an onside kick here. Maybe. I don't know. I always like. Yep, Mr. Santa Cruz going to be kicking off. I always like Greg Owens. Always got something up his sleeve. I'd like to see an onside kick and give a little momentum to the Wildcats here, but we'll see what they're going to do. Got the stacked lineup here for the kickoff for the Wildcats.
Santa Cruz about to get into his kick, but kind of
pointed at the ball, backed up. 7 seconds on the play clock. You call it, Ross.
Santa Cruz going in for the kick. Oh, and
almost onside kick. It went enough yards, but it rolled out of bounds before the Wildcat special teams could get up there. That's going to give the ball to the Raccoons on their own 44-yard line. And so I called that one, Ross. Let's just mark it down. I called the onside kick, and I was kind of hoping for it. And they tried it, but the Wildcats are going to come up short on that. So they're going to mark it the 49-yard line. I guess 5-yard penalty for it going out of bounds there.
Yeah, appears so.
And so the Raccoons will be coming out. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Raccoons. Those sticks are going to have to get lined up. They're not going the right way. The sticks were lined up like the Wildcats had gotten that onside kick. Well, they believed it. Here we go.
And a couple of fakes, but it'll be to number 34. You know him well, A.J. Yasili.
And he gets about 6 yards on that carry, maybe even 7, right up the middle. Is our quarterback the same on the Raccoons? Let me get the old binoculars out. Mr. Number 18 right there.
The senior Wyatt Carson.
That's going to bring up 2nd and looks like about 3.
Appears so. And that's number 18. It looks like Miyazono, just the quarterback there, just kept the ball to himself. And it looks like, he got the yardage to gain. So about 5 yards on that quarterback scramble. And it will be more than enough to get the first down. And that will put the ball at the Wildcats' 39-yard line. As again, number 18, Wyatt Carson, is able to rush for a 5-yard rush to get a first down.
Just like they like to do. They're marching down the field, a couple of plays, another first down. They've got a new set of downs, the 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 39-yard line. And they're taking their time setting up this play. We're into the third quarter, 10:56 left in this quarter. Wildcats down 37-14.
Number 14, Miyazono, gets the handoff to, looks like number 5, Bradford Martin. And pretty quickly he's swallowed up, even though he's able to get 6 yards. He got through the offensive line, but then was swarmed by Wildcat defenders.
Wildcat defender coming in, number 97. Coming in for, looks like number 92. $14 in as the quarterback for the Raccoons still.
Yep, that's Brandon Miyazono, the junior. And wondering when perhaps if maybe they're just running some kind of Wildcat formation as he hands it off to number 1, Jordan Hamilton, who takes it around, sweeps right, 20-yard line, 15, 10. And he's tackled out of bounds by number 18 for the Wildcats. That's Cordarian Bull Turner, the senior.
And that's about a 30-yard, almost 30 yards. I'm going to call it 27 on that. He gets down to about the 8-yard line. And that's going to give them a new set of downs, 1st and 10 inside the 10-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Dangerous territory. These Raccoons have not been, I think they've only had to kick a field goal once. So they get down this far, they're going to put it in the end zone. And they're really a threat, certainly in the red zone. And so they line up. Who's the quarterback?
Number 14, Miyazono, as he gets the snap. And false start.
Flag on the play. Whistle blows it all dead, and all kinds of laundry coming out. False start on the Raccoons. They're going to back them up. So it'll be 1st and from the 1st and goal from the 13 now. A lot of laundry on the field that time. That reminds me of one of our halftime sponsors, Town and Country Cleaners. They take care of the laundry, don't they, Ross?
They sure do, and they want to remind Wildcats everywhere to keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Neil says keep it clean over there at Town and Country Cleaners. They're lining up again, 1st and 13.
Miyazono gets the snap. And he fakes the handoff, but it looks like we might have another false start. So this Raccoon offense, for about the first time tonight, is moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I'm not sure who moved on that one. Now we can hear them. Now we can hear the officials. They finally decided to turn their microphones on. That's good. They were just taking the first half off. So that's going to make it 1st and 18, I think, Ross?
That's right. Well, it was originally 1st and goal at the 8-yard line after 2 false starts. Put them back 10 more yards to make it 1st and goal at the 18-yard line.
Yeah. Play clock ticking down, 11 seconds. They're taking their time. They've obviously got some different folks in on offense.
Hands off to Bradford Martin. He takes it in between the tackles and gets about 5 yards on the play, it would look like. Or actually about 7.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get up to the 11-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 2nd and goal from the 11 now for the Raccoons. They're taking their time. I think they've got some different personnel in there on the offensive line, and they're taking their time getting the plays in, and now number 7's coming in for the Raccoons.
Yeah, this is what I was mentioning about earlier, is just in such a run-heavy oriented offense, you know, they have the ability to just drain the clock constantly as Miyazono gets the snap, hands it off to Bradford Martin just as quickly, takes it in between the tackles, gets about 13 yards, it looks like.
No, they were on the 11 there, and so they got him down. Another 5 yards are on the 6. And just stood him up. There was a sea of jerseys there. The official finally blew it dead. They weren't making any more forward progress. So before anybody got hurt in that, it looked like rugby there for a second, didn't it?
Sure did.
So they were pushing it all around. So is this 3rd and 6, 3rd and goal on the 6-yard line for the Raccoons? Again, taking their time. The clock ticks down under 8:40. Wildcats down 14-37 to get up to the line pretty quick.
Miyazono gets the snap, hands it off to number 1, Jordan Hamilton, who's screaming into the end zone, untouched for another Frisco high touchdown, but refs are blowing their whistle.
Wide sweeping run all the way around the left-hand side, and we've got a Raccoon down. I think he's just tired. Not sure if here come the coaches. No, it looks like he's going to be down here. Two Raccoons down. Number 54 is down, and I can't see the other number. Looks like we're going to have an injury timeout here, Ross, before the extra point attempt. They haven't put the 6 points on the board yet. One of the
2 quick rushes by Bradford Martin, and then a jet sweep by number 1, Jordan Hamilton. And it looked like the Frisco and Jordan Hamilton was able to get into the end zone, but it looks like there's a penalty called.
Right, yeah. So we're back on the
16.
Right, back on the 16-yard line, and the score is still 37-14. So that score was negated by the officials.
And if Coach Greg Owens and his staff have any hopes of getting back into this game, they will have to make a big stop here as they rush to the line. Miyazono, number 14 for Frisco, still the quarterback as he quickly pitches it to number 5, Bradford Martin, but he is not able to get anywhere near the 16 yards necessary for the touchdown, so it will be a 4th down situation and a likely field goal coming up.
Now, Wildcats read that play perfectly and wrapped up number 5 in the background for the Raccoons. So, clock ticking down, 8:02. 4th down and goal. Looks like they're going to kick it, Ross.
Yeah, it appears so. So that will be number 11, Gavin Marshall, the senior, attempting the field goal from the 14-yard line. So about a 32-yard field goal coming up. It's on its way. And it's good. So instead of the Frisco High Raccoon touchdown at the hands of a Jordan Hamilton sweep, it will be a field goal for Frisco High. So as opposed to being at least 43-7 in favor of the Frisco High Raccoons, it is now 40-14 with 7:43 left here in the 3rd quarter. So when we return, we'll see if the Wildcats have some answers of their own coming up here in a bit.
Wildcats back on the field to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. 40 for the Raccoons, 14 for the Wildcats, 7:43 left in the 3rd quarter. Here comes the kickoff, Ross.
And that's number 12, so not Gavin Marshall, but Mason Stallin's kicking it away. And just as quickly, it looks like number 5, Reed Williams there, or I'm sorry, CJ Williams there, got the kick and the ball, but was just as quickly swallowed up by some Frisco High Raccoons defenders on the kickoff. So it will be Wildcat football at the 31-yard line, the Wildcat 31-yard line, as number 15 Brady Driver and company will see if they can't respond with some points of their own as they trail big here, 40-14 to Frisco High. So now Brady Driver set for the snap, gets it, sweeps left, looks for some passing options, doesn't see anything open, so he takes off himself. So about at the 31-yard line, and he will be about tackled for a loss there. So a loss of 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, he just couldn't find a receiver open on that one and decided to scramble around the end, and the Raccoons were all over him. Looked like he was going to break away there for a second, but just got wrapped up, got dropped for a loss. So back in the shotgun again.
So it will be number 15, Brady Driver, handed off to Malachi Rowland, and he fumbles it. He fumbles it, and Frisco High jumps on it. So.
Yeah, it looks like, yep, Frisco High came up with it. He just never had control of that ball when he took it and bobbled it and ended up fumbling, and the Raccoons jumped on it. So bad news for the Wildcats. The Raccoons are going to get the ball back deep into Wildcat territory. On the Wildcat 28, probably 27-yard line. 1st and 10 on the 27-yard line for the Raccoons, and this is not good territory for the Wildcats as far as when they let the Raccoons get this deep in the territory.
And that was, again, Malachi Rowland who fumbled the ball, but that was number 10, Tate Horton, the senior for Frisco High, who recovered the fumble for the Raccoons. And just like that, number 34, you know him well, AJ Yasili gets the handoff and going from the 29-yard line all the way to the 17. So 12-yard rush.
And they're going to, obviously that's enough for a 1st down. They're going to move the sticks, and they're going to get a new set of downs in the red zone. The Raccoons coming back up to the line of scrimmage. They're just marching on down the field. 18 back in as the quarterback.
And false start on the Raccoons, so we'll push them back 5 yards, get them to the 21 from the 16.
All right, so that's going to push them back 5 more yards, and now it's going to be 1st and 15 for the Raccoons. Kind of what happened to them last time, and they ended up several penalties and only got a field goal out of the deal.
And that's number 18, Wyatt Carson, the senior, back in as he hands it out to Bradford Martin. And he gets about 6
or 7 yards. Looks like it's going to put him right on the 15, maybe.
Looks so that will officially put Frisco High back in the red zone as they are again at the Wildcats' 15-yard line, threatening to score after just mere minutes of scoring a field goal.
It's going to be second and the scoreboard's calling it 2nd and 9. Looks like 2nd and 8 at this distance, but either way, they're on the 15-yard line and threatening to score here against the Wildcats.
Wyatt Carson gets the snap, hands it off to Bradford Martin. He follows some offensive linemen and is able to get inside the 5, it would look like, or might be about the 6-yard line, but either way, the Frisco High Raccoons are in the 10-yard line of the Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
And with a new set of downs, yes, it's going to be 1st and goal again for the Raccoons, and the Wildcats are going to have to step it up here and try to hold the line. The Raccoons again taking their time against the Wildcats. The clock is ticking down right above 5 minutes for the third quarter. So they're just taking their time. 18 looks like he's still in as quarterback. Wildcats just waiting for them to call the play in. Looks like there's some discussion. They're going to call timeout because the play clock's winding down. So the Raccoons have called timeout, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
Here, 40-14 for the Frisco High Raccoons. There's only 4 minutes and 54 seconds remaining here in this third quarter, and Frisco High has the ball at the Wildcats 6 with 1st and goal. So will they be able to get yet another touchdown on this Kurt McCain-led Wildcat defense, or will the Wildcats be able to get their first big stop of the night? Only time will tell.
Yeah, I thought the Raccoons were just taking their time, but apparently they were confused and couldn't call the play. So the play clock ran down, and they had to call timeout. So we'll see what they're going to come up with here, but they're certainly in fantastic field position against the Wildcats.
Number 18, Wyatt Carson gets the snap, directly hands it off to Bradford Martin, and he again rushes for a touchdown.
Straight up the middle, and that's another 6 points on the board for the Raccoons, 46-14, as we await the extra point decision. They kind of lining up. Looks like they're going to kick it. Yep, absolutely going to kick it. I thought that they may be practicing 2-point conversion at this point, but here comes the snap for the extra point attempt.
Kick is up.
And it's good. Straight through the uprights. That another point for the Raccoons, 47-14, 4:49 left in the third quarter. Just a brutal few minutes here for the Wildcats. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium where the Wildcats are down 47-14. Ross, 4:49 left in the third quarter, and it's the Raccoons have really turned on the heat here in this third quarter, in the second half. So.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As the kick is away from Frisco High to the Sulphur Springs Wildcats, and that looks like number 8 there, Malachi Rowland, again recovering. And he doesn't make it very far before Raccoons.
Yeah, he gets tripped up right there as he crosses the 20-yard line. They'll probably give him up to the 21 maybe. This is a little bit of forward progress as he dove across the Raccoon there. So that's going to be a Hooten's Hardware first down for the Wildcats at their own 21-yard line. Hooten's Hardware, Emory, Texas. They're more than just nuts and bolts.
So number 10, Matthew Mitchell, in for the Wildcats at quarterback as they've got a jet sweep coming. Will it be successful? It looks like maybe he was able to break some tackles and get some positive yardage, but he still might have been tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was deep in the backfield there when he got the ball and made some progress up, but just barely got back to the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to call that no gain, and it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. Good effort. But the Raccoons were on it.
So 2nd and 10, ball on the Sulphur Springs 22 as Matthew Mitchell fakes the handoff, but the play is called dead.
I didn't see any movement there. I had the binoculars working there to get a good view, so I didn't see what happened there, but he's pointing in the direction. He's stepping it off against the Wildcats. Penalty against 26 is all I heard.
5-yard penalty, so probably a false start against the Wildcats.
Probably so. So that's going to push them back. It's going to be ball on the 16-yard line now. Make it they're calling it 2nd and 16.
Matthew Mitchell set for the snap. Fakes the handoff to Douglas Deloney and passes it out quickly to looks like number 5 perhaps.
I'm on it for you, Ross, here. I've got the binoculars. 45.
45, all right. So that's Luke Caton again. And
he comes up limping a little bit, but he's not coming out. Let's see. He's stretching it out. He's okay. And then here on the near side, we've got 1 and 5 on the receivers on the far side. One more receiver on the far side.
Carson Fenton was the tight end earlier who was able to get that touchdown.
Oh, big pass across the middle, but came up short just off the fingertips. Looks at number 16 right there. Hey, he's pointing to his defender and talking to the official, but not getting a flag. I didn't see that one. It probably hit him just about the time the ball got there. Maybe appeared to me. So that's going to bring up 4th downs punt time as the Wildcats are deep in their own territory. So punting all the way back within the 10-yard line. There's where the punter's lined up.
Matthew Mitchell gets the snap, kicks it away. And number 23, it looks like. That's Drew Johnson. Right,
for the Raccoons.
And he gets the ball, but quickly takes it out of bounds. So it will be Raccoon football at the Frisco 36-yard line. So with the Wildcats trailing 47-14 with just under 3 minutes left to go in this third quarter, Coach Kurt McCain's defense will have to make a big stop. And
you know the Wildcat defense has put in a lot of time on the clock here, getting kind of tired, but. And sounds like an unnecessary roughness call against Frisco. And so happened after the kick, so they're going to step it off from where Frisco had downed the ball after the kick. Another 15 yards off of that. Going to put them all the way back. Looks like to the 21-yard line, Ross. So not as good as field position as what they wanted. They were at the 36 and got marked off 15 yards. I didn't see the unnecessary roughness obviously happen away from the play of the ball, but the officials caught it. and I give them all the credit for that. They caught one that I didn't catch, so that's good, especially when it's against our opposing team. So 1st and 10 for the Raccoons, all the way back on their own 21.
Carson gets the snap, hands it off to number 1, Jordan Hamilton. And for one of the first few times tonight, he was not able to sweep it around and get about 10 to 15 yards on the rush, but instead being about 5 yards. So not a bad gain on 1st and 10. It'll make it about 2nd and 5, it would seem, maybe 2nd and 6 for the Frisco High Raccoons. And as I was mentioning earlier, now this is a team that's confidently in ice the game mode, just constantly running and draining the clock. And like Chad, you were talking about just moments ago, with the ability to constantly drain the clock, you also tire out the defenders with each and every play.
Right. Yeah, they've got, well, go ahead. They've handed it off right up the middle.
Yep, that was from Carson, it looks like, to, I think, Jordan Hamilton again, number 1 for Frisco High.
Looks like you got maybe 3 or 4 more yards. It's going to make it 3rd and 2, looks like. So they do the Raccoons do a very good job of marching it up the field. I have to give them that. They just seem to squeeze 4 or 5, 6 yards out of just about every play, and then of course hit the big plays too and get 15 or 20 yards. And so they're really doing a fine job of putting their offense together. They're back up the line.
Wyatt Carson gets the snap, hands it off to Jordan Hamilton again, and about more of the same. So another about 3, 4, 5 yard rush, and that will give the Frisco High Raccoons a 1st down with just under a minute and a half to go here in this 3rd quarter.
Right.
And they still lead 47-14 over the Sulphur Springs Wildcats in both teams' football season opener.
Right, a matchup that was not supposed to happen, as the Garland team that was supposed to play Frisco High had a COVID outbreak, had to cancel, and then the Wakeland team that we were supposed to play had the same problem, had to cancel, so we got together, and here it is.
And hands it off to Jordan Hamilton, and just as quickly he breaks the tackle, makes it past the 10-yard line, and more than a 1st down. So he went from about the 34-yard line all the way to almost the 50. So a 15-yard rush for number 1, Jordan Hamilton of the Raccoons. And just like that, another 1st down for Frisco High.
Shook off a couple of the Wildcat defenders on that run, did a great job. Can't deny him of that. And just 1 yard of getting into Wildcat territory as they're on the 49-yard line of their side of the 50. The Raccoons 1st and 10 from their own 49.
Carson gets the snap, hands it over to number 3, Dylan Harden, and he starts taking it wide to the left, and he gets past the 10-yard line all the way from the Frisco High 49 to about the Wildcat 40. So about 11 yards on the rush.
Absolutely, and that's just what we're saying. They always seem to run and get just enough yardage to keep those sticks moving and keep moving down the field, and that's exactly what they've done. You got to hand it to this Frisco offense. They're not letting up. They just keep marching down the field. As we only have 15 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, the Wildcats are down 47-14. The Frisco High Raccoons really moving the ball tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chad. As number 18, Carson Wyatt is able to get the snap, and very quickly himself on a design QB draw is able to take it 5 yards down the field to the Wildcat 35 and make it about a 2nd and 5 situation as they'll head into the 4th quarter, leading the Sulphur Springs Wildcats football team 47-14 here at Gerald Prim Stadium. So when we return, it will yet again be Frisco High Raccoon football after a few messages from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium as the beginning of the fourth quarter is about to get underway here in this Wildcat football season opener as they host the Frisco High Raccoons. Unfortunately for Coach Owens and his program, they trail big here at Gerald Prim Stadium, 47-14 to the Raccoons. And also, unfortunately for Coach Owens and his staff, they start out the fourth quarter yet again with the ball.
Yeah, 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter, obviously at the very beginning of the fourth quarter, and as the Frisco Raccoons come up to the ball.
Number 18 sends the motion across. Jordan Hamilton yet again getting the ball, and he takes it at least 5 yards up, almost 10 yards, so about a 9-yard gain there, taking it from the Wildcat 35 all the way to the Wildcat 26. So we might have another drive brewing.
That's another run that's enough to move the sticks, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Raccoons on the Wildcat 26. And we said this, I think, off the radio before the game started, is that it's a big challenge. These Frisco schools are very large, and it's a big challenge for the Wildcats.
Number 18, Carson, gets the snap. He looked like maybe he would hand it off, but quickly dumps it out over to the left, or over to the far sideline, and he gets about maybe 6 or 7 yards on the play, so we'll make it a 2nd and short situation.
Number 23 is the receiver for the Raccoons.
It's number 23, Drew Johnson, on the play.
Yeah, a lot of talent to choose from over the Frisco area. Frisco High is it's the original high school over there in Frisco before they built 37 other high schools. I think they have 9 maybe now. Is it 9 or 10? Do we know?
I honestly couldn't even tell you.
I can't. I bet my daughter could name them. But the old Frisco High became a middle school, and they built a new Frisco High a few years back. And nope, a fumble, and he picks it back up.
Jordan Hamilton keeps going. He's at the 10-yard line, all the way to the 5. Looks like a touchdown. Will they rule it a touchdown? They do indeed.
They do, and that will certainly be on a highlight reel as he took the handoff, bobbled it, fumbled it. It bounced off the turf. He grabbed it back up and ran it in for a touchdown, and so that's going to put 6 more points on the board for the Frisco Raccoons, putting them up to 53. We're having some discussion down here at the corner, but they called it a touchdown. And yes, there's 53 points on the scoreboard for the Raccoons, waiting for the extra point attempt. We'll see what that's going to be. Looks like it's going to be a kick again.
Yep, it sure is. As number 11, Gavin Marshall, the senior kicker for Frisco High, is set to get the snap. Snap's on its way. Kick is up. And it's good, so it will officially make it a 40-point deficit for the Wildcat football team as they trail 54-14 to the Frisco High Raccoons with just over 10.5 minutes left here in the season opener. So when we return, it will be Wildcat football to see if they can't get some points on the board for the first time this half. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
High Raccoon score. The score is 54-14, and this is the point where we would be talking about the Wildcat defensive play of the game, and we're mulling over what would be the play so far. There was a special teams play, Ross. We'll talk about as they get lined up for the kickoff, where the special teams player for the Wildcats snagged the Raccoon and saved him from a run back. He's digging for that number now. Here comes the kickoff from the Raccoons. It's going to be kicked deep all the way back and over the head, and it hits the goal line, and that's going to be a touchback. So bounced back and got picked up by number 8, but wasn't advanced, and that's going to be. So the Wildcats will come out for their 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line. Hooten's Hardware first down. 1st and 10 in Wildcat territory. We just, unfortunately, we haven't had, we're still hoping for a defensive play. But the poor defense have just gotten run over. Here comes 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, Ross.
That's Brady Driver now in at quarterback as he dishes it out to Weston Fields over on the near sideline, the Wildcat sideline, and he is able to get it back to the line of scrimmage, but not any further, so it'll officially be a 0-yard pass.
So Brady Driver getting a lot of reps in on this game. They've been switching back and forth between the quarterbacks, giving them both some experience. That's good.
We've got trips left for the Wildcats now on offense. And it looks like that's, and they will do exactly that. He'll dish it out to C.J. Williams, but C.J. drops it just as quickly as the ball hits his hand, so it will be a 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 for the Wildcats on their own 24-yard line with just over 10 minutes to go here in this game.
Looking for another big pass play to come up. That was it was a well-executed play, and he was open, and the ball was a good pass, and just right in and out of his hands, and so have to try again. One receiver down here, 2 up top.
That's exactly right. That's C.J. Williams up top in the slot, but looks like we've got a false start on the play. Brady Driver will try and take off with it as the pressure gets to be too much in the pocket, and he tries to take off but loses 5 yards after he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
They didn't see that false start. Oh, no, there's a flag down there. Let's either they didn't blow the play dead. Coming over here.
Might be offsides on the Raccoons.
Yep. So that's a good move for of the ball for the Wildcats. They get 5 yards. That's going to make it 3rd down and 6, I believe. And Wildcats have a shot here, looking for a pass play again here, Ross.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be what they choose because a lot of times they've tried to run it up the gut, but they've been just swarmed by defenders at the line. The front 7 has been all over the Wildcats today as he dishes it out deep to Weston Fields, and he catches it. Wow, what a pass there. All the way from the 25-yard line to about the 28-yard line.
Right, from the Wildcat 25 all the way down into Raccoon territory. At the 28-yard line, a big reception by, was it Weston Fields, you say?
Sure was, 47
a great connection.
yards.
The quarterback changed the play at the last minute at the line of scrimmage. Here comes the Hootens Hardware 1st down for the Wildcats.
And that's Brady Driver getting the snap. He quickly dishes it out, but just as quickly as he dished it out to Carson Fenton, a Frisco High defender that was number 13 on the play, Jonah Choate, was able to come in and break up the pass.
Very good coverage. He was all over him, and I think he got his hand on the ball and broke it up. So 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. Pretty deep into Raccoon territory. Been a long time since we've been down this far, but on the 28-yard line of the Raccoons, and they're changing the play again at the line of scrimmage. So it worked last time when they made the last minute. He's back in the shotgun.
Driver gets the snap, hands it off to Malachi Rowland. He takes it up the center. And he gets about, I would say about 7 or 8 yards on the play.
Yep, very good run right up the middle. Had some good blocking going from the Wildcat offensive line. So the Wildcats, the offense is doing a pretty good job here of marching down the field. Another big pass play is what I'd like to see.
Trips left up for the Wildcats. Screenplay incoming. C.J. Williams gets it. Nice block there by Weston Fields. Is he able to get outside? But it will most likely be holding against the Wildcats for the holding call against Weston Fields as he sealed the block that allowed C.J. Williams to get around and get what would have been a 1st down on the play.
Well, I don't see a flag yet. Is it on the ground over there?
At least I thought it was.
They're moving up. So there's
holding it is.
Yep. Good call, Ross. We'll get you a black and white striped shirt next game.
Might have to.
But unfortunately, that was a one you saw that was against the Wildcats after a good screen pass and a good run, a completion, and it would have been a 1st down, but marching it back, and now it's going to be 3rd and about 9 for the Wildcats. So making their job a little more difficult.
Driver gets the snap, hands it off to Rowland, or no, he fakes the handoff and he takes off with it, and he gets about 7 or 8 yards on the rush. Not bad at all for a 3rd and long situation at 3rd and 9, but it will still be about a 4th and 3 situation. So
might as well go for it.
We've got a player down for Frisco High. That's number 9.
It is
Keen Ramos.
Looks like we're going to have an injury timeout. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back in a moment. Wildcat play-by-play brought to you in part by iFocus Vision. iFocus Vision Care, Sulphur Springs Dodge, Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op, J. Hodge Chevrolet, Wesley House Assisted Living.
And welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium as it's Wildcat football, and they're trying to chip into this 40-point deficit they face with just over 8 minutes left in this season opening match versus Frisco High. The Wildcats have the football on the Frisco High 21, and again, with just over 8 minutes left and facing a 40-point deficit, they would really, I'm sure, like to get a touchdown here to make the score a bit more respectable as the clock approaches triple zeros.
The injured player, number 9 for Frisco, walked off under his own power, so he's doing fine.
Brady Driver gets the snap, pressure's in his face, screen, dumps it out to Carson Fenton, and he gets at least 5 yards on the play.
Enough for a first down.
A Hooten's Hardware first down, no less.
That's right. The Wildcats marching down the field. They're going to have they're inside the red zone now on the Raccoon 15-yard line. Looks like a Hooten's Hardware first down coming up. 1st and 10 from the Raccoon 15.
Driver gets the snap, hands it off to Roland. He slips a little bit, but he gets his footing, takes it around, and all the way to the touchdown and all the way to the end zone from 14 yards out to make it at least at this point in time, a 20-54 score and a 34-point deficit for the Wildcats. Extra point upcoming, I'm sure, and it sure will be as Uriel Santa Cruz, the kicker for the Wildcats, comes out onto the field.
Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats, as they put 6 more points on the board. A great play, and you're right, Mr. Santa Cruz is coming out, lining up that kick, and going to go for the extra point.
Kick's on its way, and it is good.
Right up the middle. It has enough length. That was going to make it 21-54 with 7:39 left in the ball game. Still a long way for the Wildcats to make up, but a very good effort as they march down the field and put some points on the board. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the kickoff in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium as the Wildcat football team were just able to get into the end zone to the tune of a 14-yard rush by Malachi Rowland to make it 54-21. Or I guess they must have missed the extra point.
Well, they didn't put it on the board, did they? I don't know.
No, I don't think they did. Yeah, because that was definitely good. So, again, 54-21, the deficit for the Wildcats Sulphur Springs football team. And with that, after scoring the touchdown, it will be yet again Frisco High football as Uriel Santa Cruz, the kicker for the Wildcats, is set to kick it off.
Here comes the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. We've had a lot of those. Most of them go in the wrong direction for the Wildcats. They've been receiving a lot of them after the Raccoon scores, but they get to kick off this one because they've just put some points on the board. 1 and 2 back for the Raccoons again. They kick it short, try for the onside kick again, and
they were not successful as number 13, Jonah Choate, the junior running back and defensive back, hopped on it, and it was kicked directly to him and hopped on it just as quickly, fell down on it, and just like that, it will yet again be Frisco High football.
Yes, they'll have a good field position, but you got to give it to Coach Owens for trying the onside kick and trying to make something happen. He's always trying to shake it up, and it didn't work out again this time. The Raccoons will be taking the ball on their own 47-yard line, and they'll have a pretty good field position. First and 10 for the Raccoons.
Number 18, the senior quarterback, Wyatt Carson, still out for Frisco High. Bit surprising, and he kind of muffed the snap a little bit, was able to fall on it to retain possession. But yeah, kind of a little bit of a surprising move to have your starting quarterback in when you've got over double the score of your opponent, but what do I know?
Right.
Either way, it is Frisco High football. Wyatt Carson, number 18, still in, and after kind of muffling the snap a little bit, rushed for -2 yards on the play, technically. And so we'll be 2nd and 12 for the Frisco High Raccoons at their own 45-yard line with just over 7 minutes to go. Number 21 for the Raccoons, that's Zaylin Bates, is out right. Carson moves the man forward, and that's number 9 now. So we're starting to see some reserve players, and that's Keen Ramos, the sophomore running back.
Maybe a yard gain on the play.
But yeah, starting to see some reserves come in as this game is no doubt in the books.
Yeah, 6:40 left in the ball game. 20 for the Wildcats is what the scoreboard shows. We called it 21. We'll have to run the tape back to see what happened on that one. And 54 for the Raccoons.
So Frisco High about set to see if they can convert this 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 for the Raccoons at their own 47-yard line. Carson sends the man in motion, hands it off to number 4, and he looks like he'll have the space to get a first down, and he sure does, getting about 13 or perhaps 12 yards on the rush, and it will give the Frisco High Raccoons a new set of downs.
And they're in Wildcat territory as they move down to the Wildcat 46-yard line. They'll have a 1st and 10 position, not deep into Wildcat territory, but into Wildcat territory where it's kind of been familiar place for them this game. 5:54 as the clock ticks down in the 4th quarter. We're going to go with the scoreboard score over there, 54-20 for the Wildcats. Down from the Raccoons, handoff straight up the middle. Who's that?
That's number 9. That's Keen Ramos again.
And they just are marching down the field against the Wildcats. 4 more yards on the run, so it'll be 2nd and 6. And that's just what we've seen all night, Ross, is that the Frisco High Raccoons have just continually just keep punching. I think they're going to give them an extra yard there, and they're going to make it 2nd and 5.
Well, this Frisco High Raccoon team, I mentioned earlier about the offense they run, the wing tee, and how they do so many buck sweeps and traps. And I mentioned before the game kicked off that Frisco High has over 10 senior offensive linemen. So when you've run the same system for years, as Frisco gets ready to take the snap, hands it off to number 9 again. That's Ramos. You have so many years under the same system, so many players with so much experience. This is a team that the last 2 years has made it 3 rounds into the playoffs.
Right.
And so all of these things combined, and not to mention, of course, the last-minute change in opponents, and it kind of was something of a perfect storm for the Wildcats, if you will.
Right. Well, then just like we said, they run the ball right up the middle and march down the field to get another set of downs. It's 1st and 10 for the Raccoons at the Wildcat 28. And let's talk about the next couple of games we have coming up that will be away games.
Yeah, absolutely. So next week, the Wildcat football team will be at Lovejoy.
Right, and as the ball is snapped, flag is thrown, the running back takes it up the middle, gets a couple of yards, but let's see what the penalty is going to be. Yes, if all goes as planned, we'll be in Lovejoy, and illegal shift against Frisco, so that'll back them up, and they'll get to play that down over, but they'll get some yardage taken off. So 5 yards is stepped off. It's going to make it 1st and 14. No, 1st and 15 there.
So with just under 4 minutes left, let's see what's going on around these both of these teams' 2 districts. So Roy City took on Frisco Centennial yesterday, with Roy City winning from Frisco's district. That's 8-5A.
Yep.
Frisco Liberty took on Frisco Reedy. Princeton was taking on Irving Nimitz. And then Lovejoy was taking on Bryan, and that was a last-minute change as well, as number 9 for Frisco High. Again, that's Ramos. Takes it up about to the right of the offensive line and gets about 7 yards, about 7 yards on the play. And then
picked up their 5 that against the penalty and got 2 more yards. That's going to make it 2nd and 8 for the Raccoons, the Frisco High Raccoons, deep into Wildcat territory.
Lake Dallas hosted Denton earlier at 7 p.m. Richardson Berkner versus Frisco Lebanon Trail, and Justin Northwest versus Frisco Memorial. The last team from District 7-5A was Prosper Rock Hill versus Burleson Centennial. As number 9, yet again, Ramos gets the snap. He's getting a lot of good reps here, and as this game is dwindling down to triple zeros. And then looking at teams from the Wildcats district, Crandall was taking on Jacksonville. Ennis was at Red Oak. Woodrow Wilson hosted North Forney, and Forney took on White House at home. Corsicana hosted the Colony as well, and that's about all the teams from both districts taking on each other. Oh, and of course, how could I forget? Sherman versus Denison in the Battle of the Axe was tonight.
Battle of the Axe.
Battle of the Axe. And
not a battle axe.
No.
I can't wait to hear the description on that explanation.
An
Here comes
intense
the snap.
rivalry. And number 17 takes it. He looks like he'll have the yardage, but he will get kind of upended there at the 10-yard line, and that will most likely be against the Wildcats as a result for him getting...
Yeah, there was a flag thrown overhanded there all the way from the middle of the field over to the side there. So. Ross caught that penalty too. Oh, it was a holding penalty.
Oh boy.
So that's against the Raccoons, and they're going to back that ball up. So makes it 3rd and 5. 2:09 left in the ball game. We're still talking about it. Clock keeps ticking down. 1:51. Raccoons come up to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback under center. Hands off. Wide sweeping run around to the left, and he gets turned around, and the play's blown dead. He didn't pick up any yardage for the Raccoons, so that's going to bring up 4th and 5. It looks like they're bringing the kicking team in, unless they've got a special 4th down and go for it team. Looks like the kickers come in. They're going to try to put 3 more points on the board for the Raccoons.
Kicks up, and it does not look like it made it, and no, it sure did not. So the score will remain as it is, a 54-20 lead over the Sulphur Springs Wildcats for the Frisco High Raccoons. Again, a 34-point deficit for Coach Greg Owens and his staff.
Well, we're going to turn the ball over on downs. Wildcats are going to get the ball deep in their own territory on the 23-yard line. It's going to be a Hootens Hardware first down. And the Wildcats only have 1:31 to do anything. So let's see what they've got, what kind of tricks they've got up their sleeve now.
And driver gets a snap, and it looks like it will be a false start as the flag is immediately thrown onto the field with just under 1.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, the handoff only garnered 1 yard on the carry, but that's probably coming back and going to be picked up. Oh, it's offsides against the Raccoons, so going to pick up 5 yards, and then it's going to be 1st and 5 for the Wildcats. So a little bit better field position there, a little bit better start, but only 1:20 left in the ball game.
Driver gets the snap and fakes the handoff. He'll take it left and is able to get just about the first down, and it looks like they'll give it to him. So a 1st and 5 run and 5 yards for the first down. That is a Hootens Hardware first down.
It is. They're moving the sticks, and the Hootens Hardware first down is coming up with the Wildcats on their own 33-yard line. 1st and 10. 52 seconds. We need to mention the coaches show tomorrow with Coach Greg Owens.
That's right.
On KSST 1230 AM, and of course on Channel 18.
And Driver with a deep pass to Weston Fields, and oh wow, he caught it. Looks like no one will catch him, and he takes it all the way to the house.
What a way to go, as the Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats, for a huge pass and run for Weston Fields all the way into the end zone with 33 seconds left on the clock.
I'm sorry, I said that was Weston Fields.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's actually Landon Fields.
Landon Fields, excuse me. Way to go Wildcats on that big score. All the way from the 34-yard line all the way to the house.
67-yard touchdown.
Great job. Great throw. Great run. Everything just a perfectly executed play. But they're not, they put the points on the board, but now they're walking it back. Something's happened. Did you hear that?
Fight song and then school song.
Oh. So back now, they put the extra point that we called earlier, they put that on the board, and they've taken the touchdown off. I guess he stepped out of bounds back there at the 30-yard line, so it's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats on the 30.
Driver
and another big pass.
Ooh, and just out of the fingertips of number 27, that's Adam Peckman. He is the second string Z wide receiver, and for those who don't know, Z is just a fancy term for the flanker or strong side receiver.
Yeah, so a little confusion there. Even had the scoreboard confused as they put the points on the board, then took them off. Obviously, the Landon Fields, you say, stepped out of bounds, and we didn't see it. And one of the officials didn't see it either as he called the touchdown.
Driver sends it up, and wow, it could have been another one of those plays where the tight end number 45. And that's Luke Caton, again, who was able to get the touchdown earlier. Luke Caton was screaming down the middle of the field and looked like he might have had a chance to come down with it and get some very nice extra yardage in space, but instead it was just out of his fingertips, so it will be ruled an incomplete pass. 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats at the Frisco High 30-yard line with just over 20 seconds left here in this season opener. Driver gets the snap, immediately looks left, trying to escape the pressure, leaves the pocket. He'll be heading outside towards the far sideline, and he'll get out of bounds, but not before getting about 8 or 9 yards on the rush with 14 seconds left, and it'll probably be about 4th and a yard, maybe 2. So
another team's coming out there. Looks like they're maybe going to kick for it. Not enough for a first down, so I guess they're maybe going to kick or why not run a 4th and, well, it's going to be 4th and about 3 yards, a little long, so they are going to try to kick it. I see Mr. Santa Cruz back out there back to kick, and the holder's down. 14 seconds on the clock.
Kick's on its way. Santa Cruz's kick is up. And it's good, so it will make it a 24-54 deficit, a 30-point deficit for the Wildcats football team here with just 10 seconds left in their season opener versus the Frisco Hill Raccoons.
Right, Frisco's done a great job running the ball, and they've had a pretty good passing game. I've seen more aggressive passing by the Wildcats just in this last series. A real long run that we thought was a touchdown had to come back, and then a couple of good passes that were just off the fingertips of the receivers. So I think that we're going to see more of that in the next game because I think they could connect and make some big plays on that.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right, and that's one thing they should learn, if anything, from this game, is that they should not be afraid to dare and be afraid to dial it up when need be. And that's definitely something that this Frisco High Raccoon offense has done in spades today. I mean, as what I've been saying, this is a run-heavy offense, but Coach Owens even said, they're very similar to the Wildcats scrimmage that they did against Pleasant Grove. Just a very run-heavy offense with the option to pass, and when it does pass, they have to be careful that they don't give up a big play.
Wildcats lining up for the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. The Raccoons back to receive. Only one receiver standing back on the 20-yard line. They're expecting an onside kick, I think, here. And he gets up to the ball. Sure enough, he just pops it right over the top, and the Raccoons down it very quickly on their own 41-yard line. So didn't really look like an onside kick. It just kind of looked like a little pooch kick, maybe.
1 yard line. Frisco has 9 seconds left in this ball game.
9 seconds left on the clock. Frisco, I would say they would just down it and that would be it. But, I said that before the half, and it didn't happen, did it, Ross?
No, it sure didn't. Like I said, this team is not afraid to dial it up when need be.
Yeah, they're just they certainly gotten some extra practice in the second half and running some different plays and bringing in some different players. And now we're stepping it off against the Raccoons again. Looks like another 15 yards. Let's get the call here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct stepped off against the Raccoons.
Another 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct against the Raccoons. I didn't see that either of what player that may have been, but not that we want to call out the player. Just wanted to see what the incident was, and I really didn't notice anything. I don't know if you did.
Looks like they'll be kneeling it down, and that's what they sure do. And that will end this game as the Frisco High Raccoons come into Gerald Prim Stadium on Friday, August 27th, and win both teams' season opener by a score of 54-24, a 30-point deficit for the Wildcats football team. And definitely, Don, I'm sure what Coach Greg Owens and his program were envisioning in their season opener, but they had a lot of moments of greatness that I'm sure that they will enjoy building upon and learning from this game.
Well, that's going to do it for us at Gerald Prim Stadium as the players line up and bump elbows, it looks like, as they cross the field. And you can enjoy this game again on Channel 18 when Doug gets it mixed down, and or you can catch it on YouTube as well. And then catch the Coaches Show tomorrow, right, Ross? What time?
9 a.m.
9 a.m., the Coaches Show on KSST 1230 a.m. We'll have Greg Owens on there to discuss the learning opportunities that the Wildcats had tonight. That's going to do it for us. For everybody that's been a part of this one, we certainly appreciate you. Doug on our camera, Ross Lubinsky on play-by-play, and myself, Chad Young, on color commentary. And, of course, everybody back at the studio, including the infallible James Terry on the board, as always, making it all work. That's going to do it for us. Good night.